Hello, good morning, everyone. Now it's exactly 9 o'clock and welcome everyone to the Power Query training. Okay, let's see. Okay, good one. Yes, please welcome yourself and others people by typing hi or hello in the chat. Type hi or hello in the chat. Okay. Hello, Shah. Hey, I think I see you again. Sandra, nice to see you. Faris, Lo, Liana, welcome and nice to see you here. And Asnuza, Jeffrey, welcome everyone, welcome. And okay, I'm going to end the poll and let you see the overall result. Who are the people in the room? It's quite fun. We have up to just now, about half an hour ago, I checked, we have 111 people registered in NTW website. Okay, let me end the poll now. Okay, let's see. Let me share the result on the screen and then you can know roughly most of us, we are using Excel 2016 and above. And most of us are using Windows. Just to let you know, Power Query is not available in Mac yet. Only available in Windows Excel. Okay, and let's see. Most of you have zero knowledge about GAN transform or Power Query. And thank you for those of you have followed my LinkedIn profile and also participated in the Telegram group. So that one is allows you to ask questions in the Telegram group and of course no PNC data. So with that you are able to get supported whenever you have some question. So there are a lot of pro in the room. And the good thing is I chose Telegram instead of WhatsApp because Telegram you can hide your phone number. People will not able to see your phone number, which is a bit safer comparing to WhatsApp. Okay, let me stop. Okay, good one. How many of you have downloaded the file, exercise file, and you have unzipped your computer? Type number 1 if you have done so. Type number 0 if you yet to do so. Type number 1 if you have done so, and type 0 if you have not. Thank you, thank you. Okay, good one. Good. Okay, good students. So we are going to have good time together. Okay, and thank you, Liana. Thank you, Zanda, for opening your video and Firdaus as well. For those of you want to make me feel more human, not talking to computer, you are welcome to turn on your camera so that other people can see you as well. Okay, let me go to this one. Let me cover a little bit. Just curious, how many of you need to do so-called the data massaging, or sometimes the data is so-called dirty, you need to do some data cleanup. If you need to do so, type me, M-E. If you don't need to do so, type 0 in the chat. Okay, thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Faris, Jess. Okay, Shah, very good, very good. And this one is very useful, especially you need to do a lot of so-called data massaging or data processing. For those of you have yet to use those kind of task or job, it's very good for you to aware such thing exists. With that awareness, next time whenever you encounter those kind of situation, you know how to handle. Just to walk you through what are the things you have whenever you download the files. Whenever you download the files, okay, let me go back to my file. You will see something like this. Hey, where's my file? Okay, you will see something like this. It's in here. You will see there's a zip file and it has 2 PDF files. The zip file, you need to right click and choose uncompress all or extract all. So this one allows you to go to a different folder. Later we will use it. And just for your awareness, this training is a 2 full days training. So we are running this one as part of the giving back to all of us here, so that you are able to know what is possible. If you want to know more what kind of things is you are able to learn in this full course, you go to this outline, training outline. What happened to me? You can see what kind of things is going to cover in 2 full days. So in general, it gives you an overview how you are able to use so-called Power Query, and then how you are able to do Power Pivot. You can combine them together. With this awareness or knowledge, you can apply in Excel. At the same time, you can apply similar knowledge in Power BI. So therefore, you learn one thing you can do the job in 2 different places. It's very, very good knowledge to have. And today we're going to learn about one of the PDF file is all the workbook. Yes, all the steps. Yes, 99 pages. Yes, all the step one by one, screenshot one by one, all these things. You can follow through. Just in case you didn't manage to follow through, you can go through. Some of the topic I may not able to handle because of the timing. You can follow through with the screenshot one by one. If you need some help or you need some clarification, join the Telegram group and you're able to ask your question there. Okay, so this is what we have. Just to double check. Okay, just double check. Okay, you have gotten this one. Okay, what happened to me? Okay, a bit coughing. Whenever we download the data, whenever we are working with the data, sometimes people will be asking, using Power Query, there are so many ways. How can I know the end result? What I want to achieve at the end of using Power Query, especially on how the data looks like. So I summarize this whole thing in a 4-letter word. It's called ROCK. R-O-C-K. This one is very, very useful, especially you want to handle data differently. And you want to get the data do the job for you and not the other way around. So this R-O-C-K is very simple acronym. Apologies. R stands for rectangle. It means the data we want to have is no blank rows and columns. The data, whenever there are new data, it grows vertically and has no merging. So it's very, very important. And this one, R level, and the first letter, it uses our eyes to do a general form of our data. After R, the next one is O, means only one. We want to go a bit deeper on the data. We want to see one cell only contains one information and has one header, one record, one row. So that means only one. C, so that means we want to go further in. We go to the so-called modular level or atomic level, the individual alphabet one by one. So it means careful. Sometimes the data we have, it has extra spaces, it has decimal, date, with or without the time. Last one is very, very important. It's not negotiable, especially you download the data or you get the data from somewhere else. If you want to get your job easy, so need to follow this one. It means keep raw data raw. It means whenever the data has some mistakes, we do not change it directly. If you want to have, we want to add a column in not in between, but in the very end or the very beginning of our data, and do not use color coding. So this is a raw RCK. Let me give you some example to put into some context to let you relate. So how many of you have seen this before in your work? You have some blanks in between them. Type me if you have seen this before. Thank you. So a lot of time people, they use these blanks because they want to segmentize or segregate different set of data. So we do not want to have all these blanks. We want to remove all these blanks. We want to make them as one continuous block. Because whenever you have blank, Excel will not able to understand them as one continuous set of data. So therefore, no blank. The next one means vertical table. Especially true whenever you download the data from a server or from export a report from a server, it looks something like this one. This is called two-dimension. That means one on the side, one on the top. And the number is representing from these two parts of it. So this is called two-dimension table. So it's very common. What we want to have is make everything vertical. We want to have the alpha, making everything individual line vertically. The numbers go individual line vertically. And the header, it was on the top. Now it becomes individual. So it's same for everything. This one is doable very easily using Power Query. So now remember what we are learning now, what we are going through now is let you know the end result we want to have from the Power Query. So this rectangle. The next one is called not merging. I can almost guarantee you have seen this before, at least once in your life. Okay. How many of you have seen this type number 1? If you have seen this type number 1, if you have not, type 0. Okay. I have not seen this. Very good. Very good. A lot of time people, they do this one is to make the report easier to read. For human, we understand 10, 20, 30, it belongs to alpha for human. But towards computer, it only knows the first row, it belongs to alpha. Meanwhile, 20 and 30 is blank. If I have this kind of data, I want to do some sorting, I want to do some filtering, somehow it doesn't work correctly because of the blank, of the merging. Merging in the Excel context, it means blank. So what we need to do, yes, we want to break them up and have one row individually. So this is what we want to have. All these things is doable using Power Query. Rectangle. So this rectangle. The next one is O. O means only one. It's quite rare. I have seen this once. Some people, they want to cram all their things into smallest possible space. Like here, instead of just have two different rows, you cram everything by using comma, comma, and comma. It's okay for report, but it's very horrible for data. So what we need to do? Everything vertically. You can see one cell, one information. It doesn't combine them using comma. Then also everything go vertically. The date also vertically. One row, one record. And the header is only one. The same thing applies for the Bravo, the number, as well as the date. That means it's only one. After RO, the next alphabet is C. C is very common. Some people, they analyze the data. Somehow, the thing is not accurate because of the data they are dealing with. Visually, do you see any difference between these two phrases? Yes or no? Using your eyes, can you see any difference? No. If you can see something, some people say, yes, I see. Number one, number two. No, I just talking about the phrases I highlighted. Okay, no difference. Because human eyes, we cannot see the blank space at the end. But towards computer, it is able to differentiate them, and therefore it will be two different set of data. So need to be careful about all these things, extra spaces. Also, because of the formatting, sometimes the decimal, it doesn't show up on the screen. It looks okay, but when we inspect carefully, there's some decimal at the back. This kind of decimal also will result in correct calculation. And same with the date. Sometimes the date, I encounter this one in the time attendance system data. Sometimes it shows the date, but after I double check, it has a time behind the date. Just need to be extra careful. If I did extra careful, the calculation, if I use some formula, it will not result, it will not give an accurate result. So need to be careful about all these three things. Then the last one is keep raw data raw. Just curious, how many of you need to download the data from server or export the report from a server or some other system and do your reporting from that? How many of you need to do that? Type number 2 if you need to do something similar. Type number 0 if you did not need to. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hayati. Thank you, Emily. Okay, thank you. For this one, you do not want to change the data directly. For example, have 10, 20, 30. I just want to add a 0 at the back. Some people will say, hi, just go straight and edit faster, right? It's only 3 records. It's okay if I'm the one handling the job. What if I want to hand over the job to someone else, to my colleague? Maybe we want to go for a long vacation. I want to hand over the job to my colleague to help out. And whenever my colleague or our colleague take over the job, they were having a difficulties. They are going to question, where is the latest data? Is the one they download from server, we only showing the 10, or the one in the file, which is showing 100. So they'll be confused. So therefore, they will raise a lot of ambiguity and they are not sure what to do next. In order to avoid those kind of hiccup, we're going to add a formula at the back. Like this one. Temporary is okay. But once we have done, we do not want to keep the formula in between the data. Because sometimes we want to copy the data like this one. I copy 3 columns. If I straight away paste 3 columns, what will happen to the formula? Overwritten, that thing is gone. Again, similar situation, if I hand over my job to my colleague, if I didn't say this one clearly, most likely you will encounter this kind of error. They are feel frustrated. They will feel, hey, how come the thing is always so messy? So they have this kind of impression. So what we need to do, we move the column towards the very end or towards the very beginning, so that next time, if I copy these 3 columns of data, I straight away paste, it doesn't overwrite the formula. So it makes the whole thing much more easier to do and also much more organized and also structured to handle work for someone else to do. So this is no new column in between the data. And last one is very, very popular. Some people say to me at times, colors will have a lot of life, right? Life should have a lot of color. Same with the data. So they use color coding for the data. They use green for the things they have done. They use gray for the thing has been cancelled. So using this kind of thing, green or this thing looks okay. For me, typical guy, in my work, I only have 3 types of green. I have light green, I have normal green, I have dark green. That's all. For some people, all the green, they have a different name. Example, apple green, olive green, any other green, lime green. What else green? There's a lot of there's a lot of green kind of name. So for this one, for me, only has these 3. For some other people, they have more type of green. Can you guess? For Excel or for computer, the green, one green alone, it has at least 255 tones. So that's a lot. So therefore, some people, they want to use green, then ask Excel or ask computer to do some calculation. Computer will ask us, hey, which type of green? So therefore, it's very, very difficult. We do not want to have using color coding. So what we need to do? Add a column at the back, something like this one. I add a column using the alphabet. I want to ask Excel, hey, find me or get the total, those with the wording DONE, done. Alternatively, we can use based on the wording done, we can color coding the whole thing using something called conditional formatting. It's possible to do so. Rather than using color and go the other way, now we use the wording and go and use color coding using conditional formatting. So this is about keep raw data raw. So let's have a quick recap. Very important. Raw. What's the meaning of R? Can you type in the chat? R. Thank you, Firdaus. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, rectangle. Rectangle means no blank row and columns. The next one is vertical table and not merging. This one is the overall structure of the data. What's the meaning of O? Can you type in the chat what's the meaning of O? Only one. Very good. Wow, you're getting faster and faster. O means only one. It means one cell, one information, one header, and one record, one row. Everything is only one. Wow. The next one. What's the meaning of C? C. Yes. Wow. All of you start reading before I ask you. I'll start reading. Okay. Firdaus, very fast. Careful. So it means one. Sometimes we have extra spaces, decimal, date with or without the time. Need to be careful about. Last one. K. Meaning of K. A bit long. Yes. Keep raw data raw. Thank you, Shah. Okay. Keep raw data raw. We do not change the data directly, and we do not want to add the new column in between the data, and do not use color coding. So this ROCK. So it's very useful. Sometimes this are like a framework inside my head. Whenever I work with the data, I want to use this one to double check. If everything is okay, most likely my work, it will be getting easier. Some people will ask me, Tai, whatever you say you don't do, I do everything. How? Okay. Some people will have this kind of situation. It's no right, no wrong. If let's say you are the person somehow inherited the work and it has a lot of things inside, it's okay to adjust along the way. Whenever you want to do a new work, just to make sure, and Power Query is here to help you to make your data is much more structured. And in the future, you are able to find this book, Rock Your Data. Basically, it's expansion of the slide you have seen. I'll go up to 100. I think 200 pages just from one slide. There's a lot of examples, a lot of pop quizzes, and also case studies. The structure is applicable not solely in Excel as per se, but in a general spreadsheet. You can use a similar concept, go to Google Sheet. If you use numbers in Mac, you can go for that. WPS, OpenOffice, everything is possible. They are using a similar structure. Okay, so now we are getting everything done. And we want to start Excel. Let's open a blank Excel file. I want to make sure all of you is able to find Where is your Power Query? Go to Excel. Let me open my Excel file as well. Where's my Excel? Okay. Open a blank Excel file. How many of you are using 2013 and below? Can you type number 1? If it's 2013 and below, type number 1. If it's 2016 and above, up to 365, type number 2. 2013 and below, type number 1. Otherwise, you can type number 2. This one only for Mac, for Windows. If you're using Mac, sorry, this one is not available. It's a good knowledge to have. So it was my Excel. Hey, the Excel is always disappear. Okay, let's go to Excel. I'm using 365. So therefore, the screen may be a little bit different. I want to show you where you are able to find the so-called add-ins, the plugin. You are possible to add in into Power Query. Okay, let me. If you're using 2013 and below, you can go for the website and search for Power Query add-in. Just go for this wording, Power Query add-in. Search for this one. It's free and you can download it from the Microsoft official website. You can download this one and you need to install. If you're using the computer from your company, you may want to get an IT to help out because this one requires administrator to log in. Because some computer is they have certain restriction whenever it's set by the company. After you go inside here, this is for 2013 and below, yeah. Go inside here and you can scroll down. It will ask you what is the details, the requirements, and what is the installation and what are the things available. So you can scroll down. What is the version? This is the version. It says what is the version. Yes, 2010 Professional Plus or 2013. So these two require separate installation. After installation, it will ask you how to enable everything. The instruction is inside. Yes, two versions, 32-bit and 64-bit. So all these things available here. Just go search for Power Query add-ins. You are able to do for that. And meanwhile, for the rest, 2016 and above, you have everything built inside your computer. So you can go to data. Inside data, going towards right side, you will see something called get and transform. The wording called get and transform. Sometimes it will be a bit smaller. Mine is on the far left side. Some version will be a little bit middle. Some version will be somewhere here. Okay, some version is over there. Just search for the wording called get and transform. After you say get and transform, then I would like to invite you go to the wording called get data. Get data. If you scroll down, you have two places to see this Power Query editor. One is inside here. Okay, launch Power Query editor. This is number 1. Number 2, you need to click inside combine queries and you will have see launch Power Query editor. So either 1 or 2 depending on your version. Okay, for those of you you have this one, just follow along and just go and launch Power Query editor. I wanted to invite you to check what is your Power Query editor version. So after you launch into Power Query editor, just wait for a while, especially for the first time you run this one. And once it's loaded, and you will see the screen show something like this one. Something like this. After you see something like this one, go to the upper left corner. Upper left corner, you will see something called File, Option, then go to Queries Options. Click inside Queries Options. Let me zoom up, and it has a lot of options for you. Choose the something called Diagnostic. Diagnostic is over here. Once you click the Diagnostic, you are able to see your version number. Whenever I click Diagnostic, my current version is 2.116. 2.116. Okay, can you type what is your version in the chat? What is your version in the chat? Okay. Okay, which file to download? Okay, Power Query, that's the sender. For your version, you need to check whether you are running 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, I do not see this one. Yep, Yeah, 32-bit, 2.116. Okay, very good. 2.6, 2.16. Okay, 2.1. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, 2.24 still okay. Maybe need to update a little bit. 2.24. Okay, can. Mostly you're okay. So let me go through a little bit. Just now some of you say, hey, which one to download? Which one to download? Let me close. Let's close the Power Query editor. Just close this one. Now I want to find out what is my Excel version. Some people, they use 32-bit, some of them, they use 64-bit. I have no idea. So you can use this method. You go to File, inside File, and then you go towards lower right. You can see there's two, depending on your version. Some version they call Help. Some version they call Account. You choose either one of them, either Help or Account. After you choose either Help or Account, and you are able to see the version it will show inside here. What is your version? Mine is 365. You can see that's the version you have. If you are using 2013 and so on, you can see inside here. The next one you want to check is you can click on something called About Excel. It's somewhere here. About Excel. Whenever you click, it will tell you what is your version. Mine is 64-bit. 64. If yours is 32-bit, download the 32-bit Power Query add-in. This is only for 2013, 2010. 2016 and above, everything's built in by default. Okay, 64-bit or 32-bit. And you download and install. After that, you can just turn on. All the instructions on the screen now on the website. So now, can you run again? Can't find it. What do you mean, Jeffrey? Cannot find. You want to use your voice a bit faster? Can?
Hi, sorry, I couldn't follow instructions. Do you mind running it again?
Okay.
How to get the Power Query editor? Thanks.
Okay, what is your Excel version though?
2019.
2019. Okay, perfect. You have it. You go to the data.
Data, yes.
Yes. Then you will see something called Get Data.
Yes.
Then you will see something called Launch Power Query Editor on the third from the last.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, good one. Cool.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey, for asking the question. And now we are going to start with the so-called simple transformation. So let me give you some context. The context means the data we are dealing with, it could be from various sources, various file format. It could be CSV file, could be text file, XML file, could be a Excel file, or multiple files in a folder. Everything is possible. Sometimes we want to get the data from PDF file, but also from a web page, also possible. We are able to grab the data using Power Query. Okay. So now today we are going to learn a bit how we're able to bring the data from within the same file, go inside Power Query. We will start from this one. If you are able to follow a bit faster, closely, and I will add on more. Okay. I just want to make sure you are comfortable with. If you are okay with this, type okay in the chat. If you're not okay, also type okay. Okay. Thank you, Shah. Okay, good one. Thank you. Okay, not sure what happened to me today. It's a bit coughing. Maybe I'm so excited. Now let's go back to the file. Chang. Go to the exercise folder. Go to exercise. You will see a lot of folders. We are not able to cover everything. All the steps are available in the PDF file. You can go and follow the step by step. Okay, let's go to the first folder. It's called Jumpstart Power Query. Let's open this one. And inside here, you will see there's two files. Let's open the file called General Data Transformation. Whenever we say the wording transformation, those common word people use they call it data massaging. They attempt to make the data in the way they intend to use it. So it's called transformation. Okay, let's open this file. I will show you the recommended way. I will show a not so recommended way as well. Okay, later I will explain why we want to use the recommended way. Because in between, I believe some of you may learn something similar in online, because personally, I do not agree in certain steps they are shared online. Later, I will show you why. Okay, so now I have opened the file. Hey, where's my file? If I have opened the file, please type number 1 in the chat. Please type number 1 if you are able to open the file. Okay. Okay, good job. So the first worksheet we are going to work on is called text transform. Boss wants me to do something like this one. Boss wants me to combine these two texts together. And then based on the combined text, boss wants to make it uppercase, lowercase, proper case. Proper case means the first letter of each word is in uppercase. And boss also want to know what is the number of alphabet. That means get the total length, number of alphabet. And then boss want to me to split the data, like all the numbers, pieces to another column, and I want to have a quantity. And those with the nil, boss want me to change them to 0. No, change to 0. Okay, so this is what boss wants me to do. If let's say without using Power Query, what is the first few solution comes into your mind? I believe some of you have used it before. What are the formula or function you may be using? Some people will say, okay, I'll be using something like concatenate, concat. Okay, what else I'll be using? I may be using the function called upper to convert the whole thing to uppercase, lower to convert them to lowercase. The first letter to upper, in uppercase is called proper. This is the Excel function. I want to get the total number of characters, it's called length. So these are the common functions people use in Excel. Now I do not want to use in Excel. I want to use Power Query. Let me zoom in a little bit. Just to make sure your cursor is within the range. And remember, whenever we are working with the data, just keep the ROCK in mind. Just to make sure, just a quick overview. Is data vertically? Very good. Is data has any blanks? No. One cell, one information. It looks okay, but this one is not. Later we will split them. Okay, and then we do not want to alter or change any data directly because keep raw data raw. Okay, so now we have this thing. Just follow along. Let's follow along. Let me show you the proper way. Later I will show you a not so right way. Let's go to insert. Table. And you will see it has a button called table. If you use a mouse to point at it, it will show Control T. That is a table. You only need to do this one time and only one time. After that, you can reuse this one over and over again with different set of data. It's super, super easy if you follow this step. Let's click on the table. Let me zoom out. And it will say the whole thing is selected by default. And the first row, this is the header. You see, my table has headers. Headers means the first row, it describes what are the data underneath. Okay. After that, you can just press enter because the OK button is a default button. Whenever it's default button, you can press enter. How to know it's a default button? You can see the light blue color surrounding the OK button. Then press enter. Okay. If I'm able to follow up to this one, please type number 2. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good one. How come there are columns on top? Okay, whenever there are columns on top, let me undo. This is why when I press Control T, I have forgotten to uncheck. I have forgotten to check this one. If you have forgotten to check this one, you press OK. You can see the wording column on the top. Okay, if you have something like this one, just press Control Z to undo. Control Z to undo, yeah. And press Control T again, just to make sure my table has header as checked. Just Control Z to undo and Control T to redo this table again. Okay, good one. So after this one is done, the next step is I want to give a table name. Currently, the table name says mine is table 3 because I have undo and redo again. Yours could be table 1, table 2, and table 3. Is this table meaningful? Yes or no? Can you let me know in the chat? Is this table meaningful? Table 3, table 1. After a while, if I create more table, it could be table 5, table 7, table 9, table 11. Just weird number. It's not meaningful. It's not meaningful. After a while, I'll be confusing myself. I have no idea what kind of data I'm dealing with. So therefore, my strong recommendation to change the table name. And a lot of time online tutorial, they skip this step because they only need to do this and throw. For me, I want to do this one time and reuse over and over and over again. So I want to make the doing things right at the very, very beginning. So my recommendation to start the table name with the wording table. So this is about order, about text data, table, text data. Maybe in the future, this is about customer. So you start table, customer. Maybe this is about product, the table, product. Maybe this is about employee, table, employee. Everything you can see, it starts from the wording table. Okay. This table is very, very important because later on you want to search for the name. Whenever it's sorted alphabetically, all the table will come together one after another. It makes you much more easier to search for them. If let's say in the future you want to reuse the data here, there's something called structured referencing. By using this one with the beginning of the table, it makes your job super, super, super easy. Okay, so this is very, very important. So let's go back to here. I want to change the table name. We want to give it like table text data. Just go towards the top. Let me zoom in. Remember, the table name must be unique and it has no space or no special character in between. Underscore is okay. And the number 0 to 9 is okay after first alphabet. So this is called table text data. No space, yeah? Then press enter. So if you're able to follow up to this one, please type number 3. If you're able to follow, please type number 3 in the chat. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, let me repeat. Have you created this table? Yeah, Sambai. Hopefully I get your name correctly. Yes or no? Have you created this table? To create a table, you need to go to insert table. Only need to one time. Okay. Okay. After you create a table and then you go to table design, it has something called table name. Must be go to table design. Certain Excel version will call this one as a table tools. Certain version are table tools. Then go to the far left side. It's called table name. So this is how you are able to change the name. The name I have given is called table text data. So I use uppercase and lowercase to make it easier to read. Okay, good, Anna. After I done this one, the next step, I need to load the data into Power Query. Just to make sure your active cell is within the table. If I click outside, it doesn't know, must be within the table. And then you go to data. Go to data. Let me zoom in a little bit. Inside the data, you will see there's a wording called from table and range. The position may be a little bit different depending on your Excel version. You will see the wording called from range or from table. It has either two of this wording. Click this one and it brings you to Power Query. After you click, it brings to a place called Power Query Editor. Type number 4 if you are able to follow. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat this step.
Type.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm using Excel. This is Xander. I'm using Excel 2013. I just added in the Power Query add-in. But it seems that your features is different from mine.
Yeah, you need to enable the. Have you installed that?
I installed already. Just now I just finished installation.
After
So
installed, have you switched on?
Okay, where shall I switch on the?
Okay, very good question. Now we just divert a little bit. This is a good conversation because whenever you ask question, it's a practical question. I would invite you to share your screen. Is that okay for you, Sander?
Okay, sure.
Okay, let me stop. To share your screen, you go to the middle bottom of the screen. Okay, for 2013, you need to install the Power Query add-in. You need to download it, install, and then you need to switch on. Otherwise, you cannot see that. So now Sander has the computer. Yeah, okay, very good.
Can you see my screen?
It's loading a little bit. Okay, it's still loading a little bit. Okay, yeah, very good. Could you go to, okay, I'm going to request remote control so that it's a little bit faster. Is that okay for you, Sander?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm going to request and you need to approve it. This is extra step. For those of you who are using 2010 or 2013, you need to follow this step, yeah? After you have installed that one, you want to go to File. Inside File, you will see there's something called Options. The last one, it says Options. Okay. Click on the Options, and it will give you a lot of selection. On the right side, there's something called Add-ins. Okay. Add-ins. Click on the add-ins, you will see the screen, it changes a little bit. Okay. And now go towards the bottom, is something called Manage. In the drop-down list, yes, Manage Excel add-in and Comms add-ins. Click on the Com add-ins and click Go. It will give you a list. One of them is called Power Query. If you have installed that, let's see. I don't see the Power Query, this Power Pivot. Have you installed that one?
That's how I installed it.
After install, have you restart your computer? Not restart, restart your Excel.
Or restart the Excel. Yes, I just open this file.
Yeah, okay. Because you can see this one is a Power Map, Power Pivot. Okay, it's not the Power Query yet. Maybe you want to...
I need to restart again.
Now restart your Excel. Okay. If you follow everything correctly, you will see there's one option says Power Query. Just put a tick and press OK, and you're able to see something similar. Okay, maybe you want to restart, close and restart your Excel. After that, you can follow along. So let me let me stop sharing from here. Okay, Neo, have you installed the Excel Power Query add-ins? Yes or no? Yes. Have you enabled turn on the Power Query Com add-in? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Your one is not inside data. Your one is in another tab called Power Query Editor. Power Query. So let me close this one now. Let me close this one. Let me divert a little bit. For those of you, just bear with us a little bit because we are very fortunate. We have newer version of Excel. We need to be thankful. Okay, so now we are learning just in case something happens, we need to use a bit older version of Excel. After you turn on the Power Query, you will see on the top here, somewhere here, you will see the wording called Power Query. It's somewhere there. After you click, you will see the button, the icon is something similar, may not be exactly the same. Yes, one of them is called From Table and Range. Something similar. The wording may be adjusted a little bit. Because from version to version, it will have slight adjustment on the caption or the title. Okay. So let's make sure everyone is able to follow. Make sure, is there any more questions from those of you are using 2010 and 2013? Just a few more seconds. Any question? Just count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay, good job. If no question, let's move on. And you are able to see something called Power Query Editor. Okay, let's see. Managed to open. Yes, very good. Well done, Neil. So now I go back again. You will see something similar. Click, make sure you're inside here. And then, hey, you go to data. Mine is called data. 2016 and above, everything is under data. For the 2013 and earlier, it's called Power Query. Inside here, I will collectively call data. Okay, whenever I mention data for 2013 and above and below, you will refer to Power Query. Okay, this is for 2013 and earlier. Okay, it's called Power Query. Mine is called data. So let's continue. Go to data from table and range, and you will see it will launch something called Power Query Editor. Okay, type number 1 if I'm able to see this. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. After we are inside here, let me quickly walk through what are the things inside. On the top is called ribbon or the menu. These are the things we could do inside Power Query. And the home are the general popular commands people use. And meanwhile, transform, it shows what are the things we could do. Like just now, we have the horizontal table. We want to make it vertical. That is called pivot. Sometimes the table we have is horizontal. I want to make it vertical. That is called transpose. A lot of transformation we can done inside transform ribbon. In some situation, we want to add our own calculation. That is called add column. Inside add column, we can duplicate. Sometimes we want to use the same data, but we want to duplicate the column. So it's doable inside here. Or we want to use some condition. In Excel, we call if function. Here it's called conditional column. And because of different version, this one will be slightly different in terms of the column available. In general, what you can see is called custom column. Custom column is always available since the initial version. So these are the ribbon. And if you go to the view, these are the things you can see. Sometimes on the C is called query setting. If you accidentally close this one, you want to bring them back. You can go to view, query. And on the top, this is called formula bar. You can turn on and turn off by using formula bar. My personal recommendation, leave this bar on. Okay, leave this bar on. And then there are a lot more things inside here. And after this, the ribbon and the things we want to see on the left side, these are the queries. That means what are the data we have imported? Or data we have imported. It could be from a file, Excel file, within the same file, CSV or folder, everything you can see inside here. And meanwhile, the one in the middle, this is called the data preview. So it shows how the data looks like based on the step we have selected here. Whenever we select a step, it will show how this thing will look like inside here. And whatever thing we are doing inside here, it will be somehow recorded, or somehow it's recorded in the step. So that means next time I have a new set of data, it will go through the step one by one. And this particular query name is shown on here. It shows the name. If sometimes you want to put some documentation or some general reminder, you can click on the all properties. You can put some command or you can put some remark inside. Also possible. On the lower side, this shows how many columns is shown or loaded on the screen. And on the right side, it shows when was the data is loaded. Sometimes the data preview here, it could be loaded few days before. You can refresh again by clicking refresh preview. So everything is in one screen. Okay. If I'm able to follow roughly where you are, please type number 2. Please type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. So let's coming back here. And the first task, I want to combine these two together. In Power Query, a lot of things could be done using mouse. Okay, using mouse. Some of you, finally I can use mouse. Yes, you can use mouse. It's rather fast. A lot of things we can do, either we click on the header or we could right click on the header, either one of them. A lot of things could be done easily using Power Query in this way. So now I want to combine these two tags together. So let's click on the text part number 1 and hold down the control key and click the text part number 2. Click. So holding down the control key allows you to select individual column one by one. If you have multiple columns, you want to merge them together, you could use this method. After you have selected these two, and then just right click. Inside of right click, there's one option says merge columns. Merge columns. I click merge columns, it will ask me, hey, what is the column name and what is the separator? The separator is, I want to use a space, so I can click space. Beside the space, you can choose other different separator. Some situation, I want to have my own. You can choose custom if you want to. So now in this situation, it's sufficient to use space. And the column name, I want to call this as a code text. Code text. Okay. Once you have done, you can press enter or click on the OK. After supplying comment. Okay. Sandra, after you click, you see the Power Query in the com add-in, just click on that one and press OK. Yeah. So let's continue. I want to combine these two separated by space and the new column called, the name is called code text and press enter. You will see there's a new columns appears. Please type number 3 if you are able to follow. Please type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, I see iPhone raise the hand. I'm not sure. Is there any question? No response yet. Okay, can. So now let's continue. I have merged this whole thing together. Presume I have accidentally made some mistakes. For example, here, quantity, I accidentally removed. Everyone, please do this together. Right click on the quantity. Right click on quantity. There's something called remove. It's second from the top. Remove. Click on that. And you can see the quantity column disappear. Please type number 4 if you're able to follow this one. This done by accident. Purposely want to do this. In Excel, if let's say we make some mistakes, what can we do? Undo lah. The shortcut key to undo, Control Z. Very good. But inside here, Power Query, how? If I press Control Z and nothing, on the top there's nothing called undo. Then how? Cry lah. No. Okay. If you have made some mistake, chill. Inside here, everything somehow is called recorded. The meaning I use the wording called recorded is something like a macro. Whatever thing we do inside here, especially on the data here, it will be recorded for individual steps. And sometimes I realize if I make a mistake, I'm not quite sure, I can backtrack. Now it shows it's selected on the remove columns. I can click on the merge column. It can show how the things looks like before that step. Example here, I removed something. I'm not sure what was it. Presume I have forgotten. I can click one step above. Oh, that is the column has been removed before and this after. Before and after. Besides using this method, Control X, no, it doesn't work. For undo inside Excel, normal program, undo in normal Excel is called not Control X, Control Z. Normal undo. Inside here cannot. In order to undo, we need to remove the step here. This is step we don't need, then click on the X over there. Everyone, please go inside the apply step and you will see something called remove columns. Click on the X. Whenever you click on the X, this is to remove the steps. You can see the whole thing back to here. Please type number 5 if you are able to follow. Please type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Very good, very good. So now it's up to here. The next one is I want to convert the text to uppercase, lowercase, and proper case. So that means I need to have 3 more columns. To duplicate the columns, everything could be done using right click. So now right click on the header called code text. Right click and you will see something called duplicate column. Do this for 3 times. Right click, duplicate column 1 time. Right click, duplicate column 2nd time. And right click, and remember right click on the right column. Okay, right click and duplicate column the 3rd time. You will see something like this one. Okay, and type number 6 if you are able to follow, type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, let me repeat. First, I have gotten the data. I have combined the whole thing. I want to duplicate the column here called quoted text. In order for me to duplicate the column, I will just need to right click on the header. Whenever I say header, the first row, it describes what's data underneath. Example, this is called quoted text. This is about quantity. It describes what's the data underneath. So this is called header. Okay, let me type it here, headers. We right click on the header. Okay, let me right click on the header. And you will see one of them is called duplicate columns. Just need to do this for 3 times. Right click, duplicate. And then come back here on the quoted text, right click, duplicate. After that, go back to here, quoted text, and right click, duplicate 3 times. After you have done, you will see something like this. You have 3 more columns at the back. It's called copy, copy.1, copy.2. Okay? Can I? If I'm able to follow, please type number 6 just to make sure, because some of you asked me to repeat again. Okay, good job, good job. And now we have done up to this one. And I want to convert this whole thing to uppercase. I can just right click, and again, inside Power Query, everything just right click on the header. A lot of things can be done over there. Right click on the header, you will see something called transform. Transform, there's many options here. Lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, trim, clean, length. Length means number of character. JSON if the data is in JSON format or XML format. Okay, so for us, we only need to have this one, this 3, and the last one, length. Okay, let's go for 3 first. Let's go for 3. Lowercase, uppercase, and capitalize each word. So now I right click over here, transform lowercase. You can see the whole thing turn to lowercase. The next one, right click, transform uppercase. And finally, right click, transform, capitalize each word. Just right click and choose. If I'm able to follow up to this one, please type number 7 in the chat. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Just right click on the header. There's something called transform. There are 3 options here. Okay. And number 7, if I'm able to follow. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. After we have performed the step, I want to bring to your attention the steps on the right side here also has added 3 more steps. Lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word. So that means everything we are doing inside the data preview here, everything in the data preview, it is recorded as part of the step. It's also, I call it recorded because it just follow our step. So that means we can easily to do so-called the data transformation using the mouse and look and see how does it look like. Therefore, we can use we can ask Power Query to repeat this step to apply the similar data or the new data coming in. So that's whole intention. So let's continue. After I've done this one, I noticed the header is not so meaningful. I want to change the header name. To change the header name, you can just go to the header, use the mouse to double click. click, and you say this is lowercase. Enter after that. Then go here as well, double click. This is uppercase. Enter. And go to next one, double click. This is called capitalize each word. Enter. Just do this one, double click and change the name. If you're able to follow, please type number 8. Let me know if you want me to repeat, type number 0. Okay, now we have done the whole thing. Uppercase, lowercase, everything is done. And I want to rename the worksheet. I can just double click on the header. Just use your mouse to double click. Let me zoom out a little bit. I have 3 columns. I want just now the column name, it was called quoted -copy, -copy.1, -copy.2. These names are not presentable. So I want to make it presentable. I want to have the header, just double click. Use your mouse to click on the header. Whenever I say the header is all over here, everything, a lot of things could be done using the header. And that's one question. What if I want to change individual data? Sorry, Power Query cannot edit the data, one data directly, but we can use formula to accommodate one. The formula is inside here. Add column, we add column. Remember, whatever thing we are doing here, just remember ROCK. K means keep raw data directly. We do not amend directly. Any correction we want to do on the column level. Later I will show you how. One of the example I will show you. Okay, okay, so up to this one. So okay, so presume I have done up to this one. And I want to bring the data back. Even though my job is not done yet, I want to split this one later on. And I want to calculate number of characters we have inside the text. Later I will add on. It's very common. We will do and bring the result back and double check and coming back again. It's very common. So I want to show you the common way people use Power Query. So up to now, everything is done. I can go to home. Inside home, you can click on the lower half, close and load. Click on the lower half, not the upper half, but click on the lower half. And you will see there's 2 options for you. One is called close and load, and another one is called close and load to. Normally, we want to bring the so-called massage data directly go back to Excel. We can use close and load. In a very special situation, the data we are doing is half cooked. It's not complete yet. I want to do further processing, but I do not want to get the data back to Excel. So therefore, we can use close and load to. Sometimes we want to use close and load to directly pump the data towards Power Pivot or go towards Power Query. Going towards pivot table. So these 2 is possible. So back to our situation. Now it's just to let you know, after we are done, we can send the data directly back to Excel or send the data to Power Pivot or send the data to pivot table. It's also possible. So now we want to keep it simple first. We send all the data we have done, go back to Excel. So we can click on the upper half of this button. It says close and load. Click on upper half. It will immediately create a brand new Excel worksheet with the data you see on the screen. So let's do this together. Close and load. It's going to go back to Excel. Let's wait for a while. And you will see something is loaded on the screen. And please type number 8 if you are able to follow up with this one. Hey, good job, everyone. So now I have this thing, and I want to do some adjustment. Let's double check on with the answer. Boss wants to have this thing. Boss want to have a total length. Okay, there's a split to another column called unit of measure. There's typo, there's pieces, and change the noun to 0. So there are a few more things I need to do. So let's go back to the worksheet called table text data. So this is the data we have loaded from Power Query to Excel. On the right side, you will see something called queries and connection. This one, if you have more than one queries or more than one Power Query you have imported or doing some so-called transformation, you can see all of them here. And whenever this query is selected, on the top, there's something called queries as well. Something called queries. If you click outside, if I click outside, the queries will disappear. If I click inside, the queries will appear again. So this one is based on where we click our active cell. After we have done this, I'm bring the data back. I realized I need to make some mistakes. And I want to bring this, I want to go back to Power Query. There are at least 3 ways to go back to Power Query. The first method, inside queries and going towards far right side, you have something called edit. Okay, go to queries and there's something called edit. You can use this method. This is first method. Okay, not in particular preference, it's just a sequential number. Method number 1. Method number 2, you can go to data. If you're using 2013 and above, you will see Power Query. There's something called get data. There's something called launch Power Query editor. This is second method. If you do not see launch Power Query editor outside here, you will see that inside combine queries. So this is second method, still second method. Okay. And
hi, sorry to interrupt. You lost me there for a minute. I missed the part on the close and load, and I'm not able to follow this part.
Yeah, can you just close and load? Can you go back?
To close and load one more, please. Close and load to where?
If you use that method, right, close and load to, you can just use the first option. It says use table and go to new table, new worksheet. That's all. Okay.
Seem to get it.
Table and press OK. You are able to bring back to Excel. Yeah. Just in case some of you
wrong. I think I've done something wrong already.
Something wrong. Okay, never mind. Can you just close and load?
Close and load.
No, okay. It's a good question. Maybe I will invite you to share your screen. Is that okay, Jeffrey?
Yeah, sure. I want to.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, to share your screen is go to middle bottom of your Zoom. Okay, very good. Hey, you are inside Excel. Okay,
yeah, but
because you close and load as connection. Very good, Jeffrey. Now it's a good case study. Maybe just now I close and load, and somehow I choose the wrong option. Just now Jeffrey has chosen connection only. On the right side, do you see there's something called connection only?
Yeah,
queries connection. Very good. Right click on that. Then you will see something called load to. Right click on that. You will see there's option called load to. Right click. Use your mouse to right click on. Not click, right click.
Oh, yes. I see load to. Yes.
Yes. And then load to, you want to choose table. The first options. And then I want to load to new worksheet.
Okay.
And press OK.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. Thank you, Jeffrey, for asking the question. Sometimes we make mistakes. This is how we learn new things. It's perfectly normal to make mistakes. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. And let's go back to my screen. So just I was saying how we are able to go back to Power Query. The first method is go to queries and edit. Is first method. Second method is go to data, get data, and launch Power Query editor. So this is second method. Third method is go to queries and connection, double click over here. Just double click and it will bring you back to Power Query. Let us double click queries and connection and it brings us back to Power Query editor. If you're able to follow up to this one, please type number 1. Please type number 1 if you're able to follow, type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, Jeffrey, just go back to the just now the queries and connection. Just now you was right click over there, you double click on that. Instead of right click, you double click, click twice using your mouse. Okay, Jeffrey, should be the same thing. After you double click, it brings you back to Power Query editor. Okay, good job. So now I realize I need to make some changes here. I want to make a clone of this column. Right click, because I want to calculate number of alphabet. Right click on this one and choose duplicate columns. When you choose duplicate columns, you can see there's a new step added. New step added. And I want to say this is a length. L-E-N-G-T-H, length. Length means number of character. I just change the name. And then I will right click. There's something called transform. Transform length. Type number 2 if I'm able to follow up to this one. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. So this is done. And one more thing is I want to split the data from 1 to become 2. So they are separated by a space. Example here, 38 space pieces, 13 space pieces, 28 space pieces. All these things, they are separated by spaces. In Excel, there's a similar function called text to column. In Excel, it's something similar. It's called text to column. So here, there's a function called split column. Split column. We can just right click on the header and choose split column. Let's do this together. Right click and you will see something called split column. Inside split column, there's 2 options. I do want to split by the delimiter. That means they are separated by a specific character or the number of character. So we just go for delimiter. Inside the delimiter, you will ask us, what is the delimiter? That means what is the character separated between them? And sometimes it's smart enough to detect it's a space, sometimes it's not. If you want to choose the other delimiter, you can choose, or you can use your own character if you want to. So now this is called space. I want to split at each occurrence of the delimiter. And then press OK. And you will see it will split into 2 columns in this way. Type number 3 if you're able to follow. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat this step. Okay, sure. So if let's say I have done this one, I want to reverse it, I can just remove the step. Inside quantity, right click, you will see there's something called split column. Going towards middle bottom, split column, you choose by delimiter. Choose by delimiter. After you choose by delimiter, you say by space and everything, you don't need to change, just press OK. Just press OK. And you will see it will split into 2 columns, like quantity.1, quantity.2. Type number 3 if I'm able to follow, type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. So now I have almost done and not done yet. I want to change, boss say, want to make the noun NIL to become 0. So now I want to find something like this one. Just now one of you asked, hey, Tai, what if I want to change one of them? Can I? Now it's possible. Whenever it's something consistent, example, NIL, I want to replace everything with another something else. I could just right click. Let's do this together. Right click on quantity.1, where it has all the numbers. Right click, and you will see something called replace values. Replace values. In some version, whenever you right click, you do not see replace values. If that's the case, right, you can go to, I think it's inside here. Yeah, inside transform. If you do not see that, you can go to inside transform. There's something called replace values as well. Okay. After you select the column, go to transform, replace values, or using the mouse, right click on the header, you will see there's a values. There's one option called replace values. Okay, how to undo? Undo is on the right side. You see the steps. You can see which are the steps is not correct. So you can just remove that by pressing the X. Okay, good question. So let's continue. I right click, replace values, replace NIL. Now I want to purposely ask you all to type small letter in lowercase NIL, not in capital NIL, and replace with 0. Later I'll explain why. Now put everything NIL, small letter, and replace with 0, and press OK. Is there anything changes? In my place, I don't see any changes. How about yours? Do you see the changes, yes or no? Let me know in the chat. No, huh? That's because in Power Query, it is case sensitive. Let me type it again. Case sensitive. It means uppercase and lowercase, they are different. Because I type in small letter NIL, normal Excel is okay, but Power Query, no, cannot. Must be everything same. So if I want to adjust this one, I can go back to my apply steps. You can see there's something called replace values as the last step. Sometimes you do not need to redo the step. We can edit the step. On the side, you see there's something like a gear icon. Click on the gear icon for the setting, and you will see the pop-up box like this one, replace values. Instead of replace small letter NIL, you key in capital NIL. Remember everything capital, yeah? After that, just press OK. You will notice all the NIL becomes 0. Press enter, and ta-da! Does it work for you? Yes or no? Okay, good job. So now we are almost done. Before I wrap up the whole thing, for this particular one, I want to change the wording, the name. Now it's called quantity.1. It's not so nice. I want to change the name. How to change the name? Can you teach me how to change the name? Is it delete and redo again, or is it do something else? Yeah. Very good. Double click. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Noi. No. I can't remember your name. Okay, Noi. See, I can't remember how to pronounce your name. Okay, how to calculate text length? Text length is just right click on the text. Just right click on the text. A lot of things we want to do is inside transform. One of them is called length. This calculate number of characters is called text length. Transform length. Okay, let's go back here. To change the name is just double click. Double click. This is called quantity. And the next one is called unit of measure. Unit of measure. Enter. Just double click and change the name. Thank you. Just say no hell. No hell. No L. No L. Okay, thank you. If you're able to follow this one, please type number 5 in the chat. Very good. So we are almost done. Almost done. Now, pop quiz. Pop quiz. How many of you say this? I highlight this one. How many of you say this is a number? If you say this is number, please type number 1 is number. If you say this is not a number, please type number 2 in the chat. Not a number. No right, no wrong. Is it a number or not a number? Hey, don't understand, man. 13 ma. Cannot see, man. It's number, right? Must be a number, right? See, we are splitting ourselves. Conspiracy theory. Divide and conquer. Okay, evil Lord. Hey, cannot con you all. Okay, now something we need to be careful about. Sometimes it looks like a number. Actually, it's not a number. Just observe on the top. Also, depending on your Excel Power Query version, mine has called ABC. Whenever it's ABC, it means text. If I bring this data back to Excel, sometimes Excel is still okay. If you want to get the total, it cannot work. Using a function called sum, it doesn't work. If I want to use the same data, go back to a pivot table, if I want to get the total, it doesn't work because of all these things. Small things, it really happens. So I want to change this one to the correct data type. So go to quantity, right click on the quantity. There's something called change type. There are a lot of types inside here. One of them is called number. Number, we can choose either currency, decimal, whole number, or percentage. Generally, they are just numbers. So this one, it doesn't have any decimal places, so I can choose whole number. Right click, change type, whole number. So this first method to change the data type. The second method to change the data type is go here, use your mouse to point at the ABC. Also, depending on the version, some versions don't have it. Click on the ABC, and you can see these are the types you can change to. Okay, so this is the second method. Personally, I like to use this one because everything is just within the range. I don't need to right click and choose many other stuff. So I can just go for whole number. Type number 6, you can see everything just now it was on the left side, now becomes right side. Type number 6, if I'm able to follow. Type number 0, if you want me to repeat. Okay, let me repeat. Just go here. Let me repeat that. On the top, let me go here. On the top, you will see something called ABC. ABC means these are the text. We cannot do this. We cannot use this one for calculation later on in Excel. For example, I want to get the total using sum, or I want to get the average, or I want to get the highest, lowest, everything. We cannot use this kind of data, even though it looks like a number. So therefore, we want to convert this one to a proper type that is recognizable as a number. To do so, just right click on the quantity, right click, you will see something called change type, and choose whole number. Change type, whole number. Yep, you can see just now it was on the left, now everything goes towards right side. This is a default behavior. Whenever the number is in the correct format, it will appear on the right side. Okay, if I'm able to follow, please start number 6. Okay, good one. So now I want to bring this back. Before that, just check the column sequence. Boss want to have the quantity and the unit of measure towards the tail end. I can resequence the column by drag and drop like this one. I can drag and drag going towards right side. Okay, going towards right side like this one by one. Okay, this one by one. I'm just showing the slow method first. Okay, unit of measure. Another method I can resequence them. If, for example, the quantity I want to put it to the tail end, I can right click on the header quantity. There's something called move. Move to end. Move to end. So they will go towards rightmost column. You can see it goes towards rightmost. And I can do some adjustment if you want to. So this is how you're able to move the column in between them. Just by right click, there's 4 options. Move to left, that means one column towards left, or one column towards right, or go towards the leftmost, that means it's to the beginning, towards the end, it means towards the rightmost. So you can just do some adjustment on the column. Type number 7, if you're able to follow up to this one. Type number 0, if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. So now I'm done with the changes. Just now, we loaded the data initially inside here. After we have done this one, I want to bring the changes back to Excel. Let's go to home. Let's go to home. And now experiment. Click on the lower half of close and load. Lower half of close and load. And you will notice you cannot click on the close and load too. So that means this one is only available for the very, very first time. After that, we cannot change the location. To change the location, that we need to do inside Excel, not inside here. So now the only option we can do is close and load. So must well click on the upper half, close and load, and bring the changes back to Excel. So let's everyone click close and load and bring the data back to Excel. You'll notice the changes will appear on the screen after it refreshes automatically. Okay, let's wait for a while. If you're able to get up to this one, please type yay in the chat. I also think to type because I'm so happy. Finally, yes, yay. Very good. What if there are new data coming in? Let's go back to text transform. Let's go back to text transform. Click inside here and just copy some data. Copy some data. Just duplicate the data, copy and paste it at the bottom. My intention is to create some more data. Of course, you can change the number. Okay, this one is you can just change some numbers. Okay, change some numbers. You can copy and paste all these things just to get more stuff inside. After I done this one, additional record I just added. Just now it was 5 records. I added 4 more at the bottom. Add 4 more. So I just copy and paste and do some changes on the numbers. After the data has been updated, let's go back to table text data in this worksheet. I don't see any changes until we refresh this one. To refresh inside here, there are few methods as well. The first method, mouse law, right click. You will see something called refresh. This first method. Second method, you can use a shortcut key, alternate F5. Alternate F5 allows you to refresh based on the place you have selected. Alternate F5. And the third method is be lazy. I want to refresh everything. You can go to data. There's something called refresh all. And the keyboard shortcut is Control Alternate F5. You just refresh everything inside this file. Okay. So now I only have one worksheet. It's okay. I just refresh all. You will see load for a while and new data just coming in. So that means next time I only need to do, after this is done, I just need to make sure I copy the right data into right place and then refresh. The job is way, way, way simpler this way. Yes. Are you happy with this one? I'm just curious. If you're happy, type happy in the chat. Or you choose an emoji that expresses your happiness in the chat. Very happy, yes. Good job, good job. Yes. Happy but can't refresh. Yes, very good. So now I just want to a little bit double check again. Up to just now, how was my pace? How was my speed? Is it you want to be faster? If you want to be faster, click on the plus, type on the plus. If you want to be slower, type minus sign. If you want to maintain, type equal sign. If you want faster, plus, maintain, equal, slower, type minus. No right, no wrong. It's up to you. Minus 25% will be in this way. Are you okay? No response. Okay. I think majority of you wanted to have the maintain. Okay, very good. So let's maintain the pace. And we want to go for a short break. After a short break, we will continue. Okay. After short break, we will continue. And in between, if you want me to cover something a bit interesting, you can let me know or certain scenario. This just now is just a quick overview. And just for another reminder, all the files and the workbook, the PDF file you have gotten, the exercise file, everything is the actual course I conducted. We can follow the step, everything step by step. I hope this one will be benefiting to you, and we will see you, we will continue the session after 15 minutes. Okay? Can I? Okay, see you in 15 minutes time, and I'll put the timer on the screen as well. Welcome back, everyone. If you want to share the things you have learned, thanks for the National Training Week initiated by HRD Corp, and you can hashtag, let's see, you can hashtag my NTW in the social media, or you can hashtag NTW 2023 and in social media, so that they are able to know you are sharing something about what you have learned today. And please turn on your camera to have a good photo, group photo, before we continue. And if you want me to find you, you can hashtag Excel Sifu. Okay, so let's see. Can me give them about another 10 seconds for them to turn on their camera. Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a good moment. And first of all, I want to thank for you all to coming to spend some time over the weekend. A lot of people, they are start partying. You're not partying, but you're here, party Excel. So nice, huh? Few people are the party Excel one, huh? Okay. Let's see. Yep. Okay, I have 3 screens here. 3 screens. So I will take a while. So look at your camera lens, not your monitor. Look at your lens. And then you are able to put a big smile on your face so that I'm able to take your screenshot. And more people that turn on the camera. Very good. Come on. Turn on camera. Hey, you can see Hayati. You can say eating. Welcome. Okay. Look at my camera lens and smile. Put a big smile on your face. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, this is my first screen. And I will take the second screen. Okay. I can see Eileen. Hi, welcome. And look at your camera lens and smile. Okay, there are more people coming in. Okay, just take the screen. Maybe later I can take another screen. And the third screen. Okay, good one. Maybe later on, maybe how about this? For those of you who turn on the camera, just leave it on. Leave it on. Party must see human face, otherwise you see all the square boxes. No fun. Kan? Yeah, how many people want to party with the black boxes? Not me lah. Okay, welcome back, everyone. And now, just now we have gone through to import the data from an Excel file. We did the same file. And up to just now, any question? I just want to make sure all of you are okay. Okay, so any question? No webcam? Okay, can. Good. So just now, this is a quick way to import the data. Now I want to jump a little bit to let you aware you are able to import CSV file into Excel as well. So I want to jump a little bit. Okay, let me go back to my file. Just now, this is done. Where's my screen? Okay. Lucky I have only 2 screens. If I have 3 screens, I need to jump around. Okay, so this is done up to just now. So just now I mentioned online, there are different ways of working. So let me show a not so effective way of working. Okay, and before that, how many of you know what is the meaning of structured referencing type number 1? Structured referencing type number 1. If you know what is this, if you have no idea, type number 0. If you know what is structured referencing, type number 1. If you totally no idea what is this, type number 0. No right, no wrong, because I want to add on something value. I will explain why I want to start the table name with the wording of table. Now I will going to share you why. Okay, good. Okay, good job. So now let's do this together so you are able to experience this one together. Since many of you no idea yet, yes, good way to start. Presume I'm inside the table text data after going through the so-called data transformation. Boss want to know the total quantity here. Total quantity. If I zoom in a little bit, total quantity, normally I will use the function called sum, S-U-M, sum. Instead of using sum, I want to use another way of working. Let me zoom out a little bit. I want to use total called sum. Just go to word side, make sure you have a gap in between them. If let's say you no gap, the table will behave a little bit different. Make sure you have a gap. And I want to use equal SUM when this particular sum is selected. you press tab key. Tab key is on the leftmost the key beside the alphabet Q. Okay, you press tab key, you auto complete with the open parenthesis. Now I'm using the mouse, to select the quantity from F2 until the end. Now you can see before until the end, I see F2 up to F9. Whenever I select until the end, you can see the whole thing changes to a different name called table or this thing. So this is called structured referencing. What they are looking at, this is called structured referencing. What we structured referencing, it means everything goes by the name. And I can close parenthesis and press enter. Based on my sample data on the screen, it says 361. It says 361. Okay. If I want to do something similar, let me zoom in a little bit. I can use the pure keyboard method to type the whole thing. Pure keyboard method. I'll be doing something like this one. Just observe on the screen first, yeah. Equal SUM. When the sum is selected, I can press tab key. Then after that, I can't remember the table name, but something in common we have, all the table names start with the wording of table. So I can type the first few alphabet of the word table. So that means it's TAB. You can see all the table in this Excel file will start giving me a list. Rather than memorizing the table name, you can use this method. So table and table dash table text data. So this table we have, and press tab key. Let me zoom out. When I do this one using a table name, you can see the entire table is selected. So it will be summing the entire table. In this situation, no, I don't want to sum the entire table. I just want to sum a column called quantity. Let me zoom in. Whenever you want to go to a specific column, you open square bracket and you will give you a list of the column. So quantity, you just type the first few alphabet of quantity. I type Q, you can see it has 2 columns which start with the alphabet Q. U, A. So I type Q, U, A, quantity is selected. To confirm selection in Excel, we press tab key. Tab key, it confirms the selection, and then where I want to close square bracket. Whenever I close square bracket, you can see there's a light blue color, and this column also gets selected as well. So that means this particular selection is complete and is valid. I can close parenthesis and press enter. You will get the exact same result. If I'm using VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, some other calculation, is very similar. By using the benefit of using structural referencing, in the future, I have more data added or because of a Power Query, this range will automatically arrange or extend for us. So that means we do not need to change our formula again. Just one-time job, and that's it. So our job later on is only need to update the data and refresh. Yeah, that is the whole thing. Let me recap again. We want to start the table name with the wording of table. After that, we want to give a meaningful name so that we are able to reuse something similar like this one in our formula or in our calculation. Okay, if I'm able to get this one, type number 2 in the chat. Okay, thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jeffrey, Faris. Thank you, Shah. Very good, very good. So let me show you a not so effective way of working. Let me show you. So this is just for awareness. A lot of time you go for online, there's a lot of tutorial or video, they use this method. This method is good for build and throw. So let me use this example. You can follow along as well. I go to number transform. Number transform. This method is good for, okay, let me type it here, build and throw. So that means I will not reuse this report again, only one time. After build, I can throw away. I don't want to reuse. So you can use this method. It's fast and quick. Okay, so let me do this. A lot of time online, they'll ask you go to data. Without changing the table first, they use this method. Go to data, there's something called from table range. When I click this one, it will give me another thing called create table. That means Excel will automatically create a table for us, even though we did not create a table. But the limitation of using this method is we have no chance to change the table name. It just accepts whatever the default name is given. So now I just press OK. You can see the whole thing brings back to Power Query exactly the same thing. So presume I do not want to add anything extra. I just want to close and load and bring the data back to Excel. Just close and load and bring the data back. You will notice that later I will double check on the table name. Let's go back to number transform. This was the original table. You can notice the table name is called table 5. It's not meaningful. If I change the table name now, the Power Query will somehow get disconnected. It is not able to find the table name called table 5. So it's a bit hiccup. There are ways to overcome. It's a bit troublesome. So therefore, I recommend you to create table first before you start going into Power Query. Okay, so there's the flow. Hope this one gives you some idea. If you know a little bit about these differences, please type number 3 in the chat. Okay, thank you. So this is a bit different, Thank you. So now I want to close this file without saving. So whatever thing we have, can you run this again? Which one run again? Just now it was not effective way. It's not effective. So don't use that method.
All right. So it's trying to understand that. Thanks.
Yeah, because the name, the table name is not meaningful. It's just table 5, table 10. It's not meaningful. Okay. Okay, good one. Maybe later on you all can accumulate the question and one shot for Q&A. Maybe later I can reserve about half an hour or so for Q&A. I think that'll be much more relevant. So let's go back here to Excel. So I'm just curious, how many of you are using CSV file as your data source in your work? CSV file or text file? Type me in the chat. If you're not using CSV or text file, type 0 in the chat. No right, no wrong. Okay, thank you. Okay, good one. Some people, they may not know about CSV, how this thing looks like. Let's go back to our exercise folder. Let's go to folder. Where's my folder? Folder coming back here. Let's go to folder number 2. Again, I want to show you how you're able to do this one in terms of to make the thing scalable. Scalable, it means whenever you have new data come in, it works as well. Let's go to invoice data V1. Let's open invoice data V1 and if you see the icon, it looks like Excel icon. Actually, it's not Excel file. It's CSV file. If I look at the file type, I look at file type, it's called okay, let me hide this one. Status, date modified. I want to hide this. It says Microsoft Excel, separated value. So these are CSV. CSV file is just a text file. So let me open invoice data version 1. Let's investigate what is the data inside. It looks like this. It has a lot of columns. And whenever we are working with the data, just double check with ROCK. First thing, is the things rectangle? Okay. Does it have any blanks? Yes, blank. Does it have any merge? No merge. Okay. Okay. Then O, does it have one cell, one information? Not really. I can see this has 2 information inside the single cell. So later I want to split them. Okay. And ROC, and does it have any blanks? No blanks. It's okay. K, that means we do not change the raw data. That means CSV file at all. I do not want to split the data inside here. I want to do this one inside Power Query. So this is version 1 data. Okay. So let me go towards the end. Version 1 data is up to row number 40. The invoice number is 20, the last 2 digits for invoice number. So this version 1. Let me close version 1 without saving. And then I want to go and open invoice data version 2. Inside version 2, you will see something similar as well. But this round, version 2 has more records. Version 2 has more record. Let me go back towards the end. Version 2, the last invoice number is 40. So this is the invoice number. It has additional data. I want to do this one. It works for version 1 data, small set of data. And whenever we change the data source to version 2, it also works as well. So this is something we call, in the technical term, is called scalability. So it works for smaller set of data. Whenever we have a bigger set of data, it still works. So this is what we want to have for the CSV. So something similar for Excel as well. So let's go back. Let's close the file without saving. And now you open a brand new Excel file, nothing at all, just a blank Excel file. If you have opened a blank Excel file, please type number 1 in the chat. So I'm going to ask you all to type certain things here. Okay, you can see the screen now. Okay, screen is correct. If you cannot see the screen, maybe it's something you need to adjust on your internet. Okay. So let me temporarily mute someone. Okay, good job. The next thing is I want to go to data. For 2013 and below or earlier, you want to use Power Query. Whenever I say data in your context is called Power Query. Then you will see something called from text CSV. The wording has a text, the wording has CSV. Just click on that one. Just click on that. And it will ask you, where is your file? Then you go and browse lah. Where is your file? Okay, I can browse. I will see something called invoice data version 1. I just click and click import. If you're able to follow up to this step, please type number 2. If you want me to repeat, please type number 0. Okay. So let me close this one again. Let me do this. Go to data. Let me zoom in a little bit. If you are using you see Power Query. You see Power Query. For 2013 or earlier, you need to go to Power Query. Whenever I say data in your context, is say Power Query. Okay. After that, you go to Power Query or data, you will see there's something called from text or CSV. Okay, from text or CSV. Click, then it will ask you where is your file. The file is the exercise file you have downloaded. You remember to unzip it. If you did not uncompress, you want to uncompress them. Otherwise, you will not able to see any data here. Okay, let me show you a bit about uncompressor, because some of you may not have uncompressed the file yet. If I go up here, go to the exercise, you will see it looks something like a folder. You need to right click, then you say that's option say extract all. Just after extract all, you just press OK, and you will create a brand new folder. Just go to that folder. Okay, this is a zip file, it's not a compressed file, it's not a normal folder. So let's continue. Invoice data version 1. Thank you for those of you who have managed to follow. Okay, let's continue. Okay, maybe your version a bit different now. Okay, so now I'm inside here. You can see something like this one. And whenever the data is not in the right way you are looking for, just click on the middle button called transform data. Different version will have a different wording. Sometimes it called transform, sometimes it called have different wordings. This version, the version of my current version is called transform data. Just click the button in the middle between load and cancel, just between them. Okay. Okay, then transform data. Inside transform data, you will see, you will go to Power Query like this one. Type number 3 if you're able to follow up to this one. Okay, good job. The first thing I see, there are a lot of blanks inside. So I want to remove the blank rows. You can go to home Inside home, there's something called remove rows. Let me zoom in. Home, remove rows. You click, there's an option called remove blank rows. Just click on that and all the blank rows will be gone for good, like this one. Type number 4, if I'm able to follow up to this step.
Hi,
Yes, Sandra?
can you go back a bit? Because
Maybe
I
later you ask question. Maybe later, is that okay?
Oh, okay.
You hold your question, you write down. Now you just observe how the stream flow first. Because your version is slightly different, so the button may be a little bit different. Okay, maybe later we use your screen and to demo. Okay. Thank you. So now we have up to this one. The next one is I want to split the data for the region and salesperson into 2 columns, product and quantity into another 2 columns. We want to use something similar like method just now, split columns. Right click on the region and salesperson, right click on that. And you will see there's option called split column. Split column. Inside split column, you want to choose by delimiter. Okay. Instead of choosing the default delimiter, you can choose something called custom. Pick the option, say custom. Inside custom, you want to type a space and open bracket. Because space and open bracket is whatever things appears between the region and the name consistently. So I want to remove the space as well. So I want to type space and open bracket. And I want to remove at each occurrence of the delimiter. Then after that, I can just press OK. You can see them split into 2 columns. Type number 5 if you are able to follow. If I have question later, I will redo again using a different version of your screen. Okay. Very good. Thank you. So now I have built this, and you will notice the salesperson has a close bracket. And now I want to remove the close bracket. To remove a certain alphabet, we can use replace values. Right click, and you will see something called replace values. Just now we replace NIL, replace with 0. So now I can replace close bracket with nothing. So I can replace values. Let me zoom out a little bit. Replace close bracket. You need to key manually. Close bracket, replace with nothing. Just do not need to key anything there. So that means I'll be removing close bracket from all the data here. After that, just press OK. You'll notice the region and the salesperson will be in this manner. Type number 6 if I'm able to follow up to this one. Good. And the next one is I want to split the product and quantity at once. You can notice beside the equal sign, before the equal, there's a space. After the equal, there's another space. So therefore, the delimiter will be space equal space. So I need to split the last column, product quantity, by right click. Then you will see something called split column by delimiter. And choose custom. Instead of using space, choose custom. Let me go here. Inside custom, you type a manually type space equal space. That's all. And then press enter. You'll notice they are split into 2 columns. Okay, nice. Type number 7 if you're able to follow up to this step. Very good. Before we finalize the whole thing, I want to change the column header. This is region. So to change the name, just double click to share this is region. And this is the salesperson. Everything just using a mouse to double click and adjust. After you're done, you can just press enter. And this is the product. And lastly is quantity. Enter. Type number 8 if you're able to follow up to this one after changing the column name. And number 8 if you're able to follow up to this. Thank you. Thank you, Faris. Thank you, Liana. Okay, good job. And before we continue, I realized the name here is called invoice data V1. Up to just now, we only focusing on the name for the table, Excel table, example, table staff, table text data, and so on. Here, we also can change the name to make the name generic. So that means sometimes I'm working with the data for 2022. Whenever possible, I want to remove those kind of name to make it generic, because whenever we are doing this one with the intention of reusing the similar report for the future. If I keep this way, whenever I pass the job to someone else, the person may be confused. Am I using the old data or new data? In order to avoid that kind of confusion, to make it generic. Same thing here, it says version 1. In the future, I'll be using version 2, version 3, version 4, and so on. So I want to make the name generic. So I want to remove the dash V1, remove the V1, just remove it and press enter. And press enter. You will notice the name changes, and same thing goes with the one on the right side. They are the same place. We can change the name. They are the same. We can change either the one on the left or the one on the right. And type number 9 if you are able to follow up to this step after changing the query's name. Very good. Finally, I want to close and load the data back to Excel. This is a happy moment. Let's go to home and click on the upper half, close and load. Click close and load, and it will bring the whole thing back to Excel like this one. Okay, let's wait for a while. And yeah, done. Ta-da! If you're able to see something like this one, please type yay in the chat. Yay in the chat. Very good, very good. So this is the first part. Later, I will show you how you're able to change the data file from version 1 to version 2, and the job is just refresh. Okay. So now I want to invite Sandra. Okay. Maybe you want to share your screen. This is much more relevant for those people who are using 2013 or earlier. Could you share your screen, please?
Okay, here.
Okay, good one. Okay, for those of you who are using newer version of Excel, now is for you to see the differences, so that next time, whenever you want to share with your colleague how to do the things a bit differently, you know how to do it. Okay, so you are able to bring the data V1. Okay, yeah. I'm going to request remove control your screen.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay. You are getting almost the whole thing done, and you will notice just for everyone's awareness, if I import the data twice, you will see the same thing appears twice here. Yeah, 2 data. So that means I imported twice. If I import the same thing over and over again, it will make our so-called queries a little bit difficult, and it's not easy to manage. If after with this one, I realize, hey, I make a mistakes. So this one is not necessary. If this is not necessary, I can just right click and delete. If it's not necessary, you have the option to delete. So now I keep it this way. I'm not sure whether it's required or otherwise. I can put this way. So what I can see, Sandra is doing a very good job. And there's something a bit different. You can notice the header. Currently it says column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. Sometimes this thing may happen. Also depending on your Excel version, your Power Query version. If this thing happens, but the first row, it contains the header name. So now I want to adjust. I want to use first row as the header name. You can click there, see a small button here, click. there's something called use first row as headers. So this first way to do it. Another way to do it is you can go to transform. Almost anything we want to do with the transform, we are able to find at least one button here. Okay, almost anything. Transform, you will see something called use first row as header. Same thing. Click, you will notice the first row, it has moved up and it becomes the header without having us to change the name one by one. After this is done, I will notice there are blanks in between them. To remove the blanks, you can see, go to home. There's something called remove rows. Click on the remove rows. There's something called remove blank rows. Besides remove blank rows, you will notice I can remove top rows. Sometimes the data we download, there are certain header at the top, maybe 5 rows, consistently 5 rows. I don't need, so I can remove top rows. Sometimes the report we download as a CSV or Excel file as bottom, like how many summary, total, grand totals at the bottom. We can use remove bottom rows as well. So there are a few ways to do it. So back to this situation, I would just want to remove blank rows. And you can see the whole thing is updated. Yes. And final step. And Sandra just need to go to home, close and load, and bring everything back to Excel. That's all for you. So far, okay?
One thing I didn't understand, if we remove the blank rows, I saw one of the row got sentences there. I mean, the Excel able to recognize those blank rows.
Which one? These are the
The
blanks. Yeah.
NULL, the one.
Oh, okay. Very good. NULL, very good question. For human, we cannot see blank. Normal human eyes cannot see blank. Because this one is a database term. Whenever it's something blank, really blank, it's called null. NULL.
No.
Yes, you can see the wording is italic. It's
Okay,
not a normal font. It's not NUL, the strict one. It's italic. So therefore, this is totally nothing.
Okay.
So if I go back here, so these are the steps you can click and you can notice how the thing changes. At the very beginning, you load the data and then the things automatically change type. And then you rename the column. You can see it has renamed the column and it split the column again. And you can see all the steps one by one. So this is allows us by using this click on the apply step, you can see the flow of data transformation. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, and we learned something differently. And sometimes the header may not be as the header we are looking for. So I stop sharing from here. Thank you, Sandra, for your question, and everyone of us learned something new. Okay. So far, up to now, any question? Any question? Calling once, calling twice, and so good to know. Yes, how to, yeah. It's easy because whenever we learn something new, is almost certain we will make mistake. It's almost certain. So now let's go back to my file. I have this version 1 data, and now I want to update the version 2. Just now version 1 data is up to the invoice number 20, the last 2 digits 20, and I want to change the data, the file from version 1 to version 2. I want to go back to Power Query. I can go to Queries, Edit, or double click on the Queries and Connection, double click over here, or I can go to Data, Get Data, Launch Power Query Editor. Whichever method works for you, use that method. Okay, either way it works. Now let's go back to Power Query Editor. Use your own method, whichever you prefer. Okay. And now I'm going back to Power Query Editor. Please type number 1 if you are back to Power Query Editor. Please type number 1 if you are able to back to here. Very good. On the right side, you will see something called source. Let me zoom in a little bit. The very first step is called source. And on the right side of the source, you will see a button looks like a gear icon. Click on the gear icon. Click on the gear icon. Let me zoom out. It will ask you where is the new file if you want to change it. So let's for a while, and you will see something like this one. If you're able to see this comma separated values with the file path, please type number 2 in the chat. Please type number 2 in the chat if you're able to see up to this one. And please type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Very good. Because all my files, they are in the same folder. The only difference is changing the V1 to V2. Yes, you just change the number V1 to V2. Okay, V1 to V2. No extra space. If extra space, they also mean different thing. No extra space. Just change the number 1 to number 2 and remains the .csv at the back. Okay. After you had changed this one and press OK. Press OK. You will notice it will load for a while and the new data coming in. You can see the last row is 40. Type number 3 if I'm able to follow up to this one. Type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. And in order to make sure that things works, now we just need to use a mouse to click the very last step. Depending on yours, my last step is called rename column. Yours may be a bit different. Just click on the very last step. Click on the very last step and scroll down. You'll notice you have the everything in the perfect form. And the last row is row number 40. Okay. Okay, I see something. Okay, could not find. Okay, have you changed the file name? In your file, do you have that folder with the CSV file? Yes or no? Oh, you have missed the dot. v2.csv. Noel, I think you need to have a dot before the CSV. Yeah, that should be okay.
係啊，我上緊課啊。
係啊，上課啊。Okay, temporary mute. Okay, just a joke. Commercial break for okay, right? Good one, good one. So now I have done this one, and I just need to go to home, close, and load. Just do one changes on the source data file. Everything remains the same. And close and load. Let's wait for the magical moment to happen in Excel. You will see more data appears. Let's wait for a while. Yes, more data here. Type yay in the chat if you are able to see this. Yeah, so type yay. Okay. Yes, all good. Very good, very good. So this is how we are able to bring the CSV file into Excel. If any changes, we just need to swap the location. It's very common in our workplace. And maybe now I'm just doing the Q1 data. I import the data. Okay, that's all. Q2 data come in. I need to adjust the data for the Q2 data file. So everything still remains the same. I just need to change the file location. Okay, hope this one gives you some idea. So this is about working with CSV file. And the next one is quite a common data source, which is another Excel file. How many of you need to work with another Excel file? It could be downloaded from your system or get from another colleague. Somehow you need to copy and paste and all over the places to make them into a single file. Type ME if you need to work with external data file. Type ME. Otherwise, you can type 0 if you're not working with external data file. External Excel file. Okay. Thank you, Liana. Thank you, Jeffrey. Okay. Oh, okay. Jess, how the V1 is updated? Presume I download the data in the first batch. After that, I want to cumulatively download the second batch, like year-to-date kind of stuff. So it's possible. So just now the example is very simple scenario. It's not cumulative. It's a brand new file. Just the V2 file has includes the data from V1. Okay. Yeah. If the data is in the same file, you just need to update the file in the same location, same file name, So you just need to go back to go back to Excel and refresh, and everything is job done. It's also possible. Okay, hopefully this one address your question. Let me rephrase. I think your answer a bit different thing. If the data is updated in V1, we just need to go and refresh Excel file. That's all. So let me demo this one for Jess and also for other people before we go on to Excel file. So let me go back to example. This is the data I have. Example, this is a company called Ocean Gate Security. The region is called North. I go back to my CSV file. I'm working with the version 2 files. Okay, let's go back to working CSV. Let me open the version 2 file. Open it. And now presume I'm updating the file in terms of CSV. In terms of CSV. So let me do this. Instead of called Ocean Gate Security, I want to type the name called NTW. Okay, NTW. To change the company to NTW. Okay, in capital will be better. I save the file and close it. You can see the version 2, the data imported inside this Excel file, it still remains as Ocean Gate Security. In order for me to update or pull the data again, where the Ocean Gate will become NTW, I could just using the mouse, right click, refresh, and just wait for a while, NTW. Does that address your question, Jess? Hope this one address your question and also address some other question people may have. Same file, same location, update it and refresh. It's quite simple, Okay, good one. So now I want to close this file and open a brand new Excel file. The intention is I don't want to have so many queries inside the same file here. Okay, let me close this one and open a brand new Excel file. If you have opened a brand new Excel file, just now the file you want to save is okay. After I open a brand new Excel file, please type number 1 in the chat if you are able to follow. Okay, good job. The next one is I want to go to data. Remember for Excel 2013 and earlier, you are not clicking the data, you are going to Power Query. Okay, for 2013 or earlier. Go to data, you will see something called get data from file from Excel workbook. So now I'm going to get the file from Excel file. Get the data from Excel file. Click on this one. So I want to go to the folder, just to let you know. We are going to get the data from folder number 3. Inside folder number 3, I want to get customer order V1. Okay, let's browse the folder, customer order version 1. Okay, let's import. Whenever I import, it will show something differently compared to CSV. CSV file, it just shows how the data looks like. But whenever we are working with Excel file, it will ask us which worksheet we want to select. So if let's say you have more than one worksheet, you can use this one to, I only want to select this worksheet number 1, or worksheet called ABC, or the worksheet called sales data. Also possible. You can go to a specific worksheet in this manner. So here I only have sales order, only one worksheet. Whenever you click on this one, you will notice the data, it was horizontal. It shows as horizontal. Later we will do something about it. It was horizontal. If you are able to follow, you are able to see up to this one, please type number 2 in the chat. Very good. After you have done this one, click on the button in the middle between load and cancel. Sometimes it's called transform. Sometimes it says transform data. Okay, just go and transform data. Click on this and it brings you to Power Query editor like this one. Okay, you will load for a while and you will go to Power Query editor. Hey, where's my Power Query editor? Okay, it's loading. Yep, this is my Power Query editor. If you are able to go to Power Query editor, please type number 3. Okay, CSV do not have any worksheet. It's only one single file. CSV is sometimes, okay, CSV also known as flat file. Flat file. It means it does not have worksheets. Okay, it's flat. It has nothing else, CSV file. So CSV has no worksheet, so there's nothing for us to choose. Whatever we select is everything we have. Okay, hope this will address your question. Okay. Good one. Up to this one. So now I'm just curious. Now, because of different version we have, you may see something differently. How many of you on your header, you see like mine? Whenever you see like mine, please type number 1, same like the screen. Okay. Type number 2, different than the screen. Okay. Which one? It's 1 or 2. Okay. Good, good, good. So now pop quiz. Okay. Is this first row a data, yes or no? Type in the chat. Is the first row part of the data, yes or no? Very good. Some say yes, some say no. Okay, very good. This data, just to give you the answer, this data, the first row is part of the data. Normally, our table is vertically, normally. So it has a customer, item, and quantity. Because this table is horizontally, the customer name is called Monster Inc. Item is great, quantity is 25. The next customer is Dreamy Lens, Guava, and New. So you can see it's supposed to be vertical, but it becomes horizontal. So therefore, the first row is the data, but somehow it's automatically become the header. Power Query, sometimes it automatically presume the step, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this situation, it doesn't work. So I need to do some adjustment. So let's go to apply steps. You will see roughly it has one wording called promoted headers. Promoted headers. Whenever you click on the promoted headers, you will notice something like this one. If you click the one step above promoted header, you will see like this one. I will have 3 rows: customer, item, and quantity. This is supposedly the step we are looking for. Therefore, the step from promoted headers until the end, I don't need. I need to delete. In order to delete everything, go all the way down, we can use this method. Just go to promoted headers, right click on the promoted header, click and right click. There's something called delete until end. It will ask you for confirmation. Delete until end. Click, and you ask, hey, are you sure you want to delete? Okay, I can say delete. You delete until the end. And this is the method we are looking for. Please type number 3 if I'm able to follow up to this step. Okay, very good. And I believe some of you has the answer, so I purposely ask you. If I want to make the vertical data to become horizontal or horizontal to become vertical, what is this called? What is this operation? Vertical to horizontal or horizontal to vertical? That's the one thing. Let's start with the alphabet T. If you know the answer, type in the chat. Wow, I haven't finished the question, you already know. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Hayati. Thank you, Firdaus. Yes, it's called transpose. Transpose. Okay. So now we want to transpose this one. Let's go to transform. Inside transform, you will see there's an option called transpose. Okay. Click on transpose. You can see them change vertically. Okay, type number 4 if I'm able to follow up to this one. Transpose. Okay, good job, good job. Okay, let me repeat lah. Okay. First, I need to make sure I see 3 rows. If I see the customer on the top, monster at top, dreamy lane at the top, I need to, there's a 1 step extra here. It's called promoted headers. There's something called promoted headers. Just remove the promoted headers. Just remove this one until the end. Remove until the end. And only leaving 2 steps behind. Okay, just to make sure this is the way. After that, and go to transform. Transform. There's one wording called transpose. Click on the transpose. You will from horizontal becomes vertical. That is one. Okay. So just now it was 3 rows horizontal. Whenever it becomes vertical, it will be 3 columns vertical. 1, 2, 3. Previously, it was 1, 2, 3 horizontal. So this is called transpose. Okay, got it. Very good. And now pop quiz. Okay, I like pop quiz. Is this the first row a data? Yes or no? Is the first row a data? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Hey, okay, good one. Actually, the first row here in this context is not the data. This is, they are headers. Headers, it describes what is the data underneath. In this first column, these are the customer name. In this column, these are the item name. And this column, these are the quantities. So therefore, the first row is not the data. I want to make this first row as the header. To do so, I can go to transform. There's something called use first row as headers. Or I can click on the small button here, same icon like with the use first row as header. There's something, a button called use first row as headers. Click on this one and you will notice the first row disappear and everything will move up like this one. Okay, so this is how we are able to do up to this one. Please type number 5 if you are able to follow up to this step. Very good. Now I have done all these things. I want to bring the data back. How? Can you teach me how to bring the data back to Excel? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Liana. Thank you, Faris. Yes, go to home, close and load. Just click on the upper half. Upper half is faster rather than click on the lower half. Click on lower half, I need to click one more. Click on the upper half, I just can click, close and load, and it will bring the whole thing back to Excel like this one. Let me go zoom out and click, and you close the whole thing and start loading the data back to Excel. Let's wait for a while. Okay, I'm not quite sure what you asked about the font. Okay, let me go back here. Let me go back to Power Query. Are you saying the one in the middle? Okay, whatever things we want to do inside Power Query, we can just go to the options. Let's double check. Good question. I didn't check the font. Okay, just go to Home, File, Options, Queries option. Is there any way to make the font bigger? Up to now, I have not changed anything yet. Good question. General data load, no. Power Query editor has no way to change the font. Security, nope. Diagnostic, nope. Nope. Okay. In summary, there's no way to change the font. Okay, let's see. Go to view. Let's see. Go to view. Let's go on data view. In the data preview, monospace. You can change this one. Monospace. Column distribution, column profile, column quantity. Okay, it doesn't have a way to change the font. to make it larger. Okay, this advanced editor, not really using here. Okay. Nope. Yeah. There's no way to make the font larger. Yeah. Hope this will address your question. Okay. So now go back to close and load and bring the data back to Excel. So this is done. First job is done. And what if I have new data come in? But it's very common. It's very common. The data we are working on now, it looks okay. But after a while, when we import the data again, the data structure and the format, it changes slightly. So let's see some sample. Let's go back to our exercise folder. Let's open customer order version 2. Customer order version 2. What is the obvious difference than of version 1? Can you tell me? Can you type in the chat? What is the very obvious difference? Version 1 and version 2. Yes, thank you, Anusha. Yes, there are blank rows in between them. Thank you, Sanda. Yes, yeah, the report shows sideways, still showing sideways. There are a lot more blank rows here. If I encounter this is a new data I received, should I remove the original, the data I have here before go to Power Query? Yes or no? Let me type the question. Okay. Should I remove the blank rows here? Yes or no? Can you type? Let me know in the chat. Should I remove here? Because it's something extra, ma. Okay. Very good, very good. I like your, okay. The answer is no. Because if I remove the blank rows here, instead of using Power Query, I'm creating extra work for me. If I want to hand over the work to someone else, the person need to remember, hey, before that, you need to remove the blanks before you import into Power Query. Okay, so that's extra work. Remember ROCK, the last one K, keep raw data raw. It's not negotiable to change the raw data at all. Unless it's very, very special situation, usually we don't change at all. Okay, so now I don't want to change this one. Let me close the file, version 2, customer order version 2. I close this file. Now I want to go back to customer order. I want to change from version 1 file, change to version 2. And in between, I need to do some adjustment. So this is a practical situation. Sometimes the data may change. I want to reuse the query to do some adjustment. This is a very good example. Let's follow closely. I will go a little bit slower so that you all can follow. So now we go back to Power Query for customer order. If I'm able to go back to Power Query for the customer order, please type number 1 in the chat. Very good. After that, I want to change the source from version 1 to version 2. So let's go to the source. And you will see the small icon here. Just click on this small icon, allows you to change the source. Okay, just click on the small icon. And it will show you where is the file. Now I want to change from version 1 to version 2. Just go towards the end, like just now. Change the 1 to number 2. That's all. The dot must be in between. After the number 2, must be have a dot. And press OK. If I'm able to change the name to version 1 to version 2 and press OK, please type number 2 in the chat. Please type number 2 in the chat after you have changed the source. Okay, good job. After I've done this one, I want to inspect or investigate how the flow or so-called the transformation steps in the version 1, does it still applicable or anything I need to adjust in between them? After changing the source, I want to invite you to click the step 1 by 1 by 1. whenever you click, observe how the data preview looks like. If anything you need to change, you do the changes on that particular step. Let me do this demo for you. I click on navigation. Okay, and there's more blanks here. Okay, transpose. Okay, you start transpose. That means I need to do something before transpose. So I click on the navigation. You can see the rows appears. I want to remove blank rows. So I need to make sure I click on navigation, home, remove rows, remove blank rows. Click on that and it will give you a warning because we are about to add a step in between navigation and transpose. So that's a between them. I need to add something, remove the blank rows before continue. So I will need to click on insert. Click on insert. So let's click on insert together. And you'll notice that new step appears in between them. Remove blank rows. After that, click on transpose table. Okay, everything back. Promote header. And lastly, change type. Okay, everything looks perfect. If you're able to follow up to this one, please type number 3. Please type number 0 if you want me to repeat. Okay, good job. So let me do this. Let me repeat again. Have you changed the source? Yeah? Shah? Have you changed that one? Yes or no? Yeah. After changing your source, use your mouse to click on navigation. Can we remove blank rows? Yes and no. Okay, let me handle the sharp question first. Anusha is very good question. Okay, let me do this one, navigation. Then click on the transpose table. You see there are more columns here. I think I can answer 2 questions at the same time, yeah. Number of rows, okay, if I go back navigation, number of rows, the number of columns is fixed. The number of blank rows, could be more, could be less. It's much more viable for me to remove the blank rows here because the columns is consistent at the 4 columns. Okay, if I remove the blank columns after transpose, right, the number of columns will not be always column number 2, could not be column number 4. It could be more columns in between here, or more columns between here as well, or maybe in between in the top. The so-called the blank columns are not fixed. So therefore, it's much more viable. While they are still horizontal, we remove them at once before they become a column. Because whenever in the column, Power Query works by the column. We have no idea, is it column 2 blank or not blank? We have no idea until there's a different way of working. It's much more complex. To keep the things simple and straightforward, whenever there's blank, we want to remove while they are still at the row level, not at the column level, but at the row level. So click on the navigation, then go to home, remove rows, remove blank rows. Okay, so let me draw, go to home, remove rows, remove blank rows. So this one is in the step of navigation. Click on the navigation, home, remove rows, remove blank rows. Whenever you click so, it will ask you whether or not you want to insert a step in between them. Yes, this is what we want to do. Then click insert. Click insert, you can see it continue. After there's a new row or new step we have added in between them, and you click continue one by one, you notice until the end, the step will produce the result we are expecting. Okay, got it. After we have done this one, click the last step just to make sure the result is what we want. Cool. Okay, now I want to close and load and bring the data back to Excel. You will notice the number increased by 10 at the back. Okay, let me close. Now it was 25. You will, after refresh, you become 250. Just wait for a while. Just wait and wait. Yep, got it. If you're able to get the result up to this one, please type yay in the chat. Yes, we want to celebrate. Yes. I want to put some emoji lah. Yes. Yes, I'll put some emoji. Yes, yes. Okay, good one. So this is what we have learned. Whenever the data source changes, we need to adjust the transformation a little bit. Okay. Why the colony I need remove blank rows has a no, there's nothing called remove blank column unless we transpose remove blanks column. Okay, it's a very good question from one private message. Power Query, it works everything by column. Everything, okay, where am I? Everything goes by the column. If I say I want go by the column, let me go back here. Let me go back. This is how Power Queries work. It doesn't know the columns are blank or otherwise. There are many ways to do it. Let me do this. Let me do this. Go back to navigation. Is it easier for me somehow? Maybe I want to use filter. Is it much more easier for me to filter and take out all the nouns using this method? Yes or no? If I just normal Excel filter, is it easier for me to remove this one? The answer is yes. Okay. What if it becomes column? Okay, let me remove this one a little bit. Let me remove the step. Move the step. If everything becomes column, how can I filter by horizontally? Where are the blank columns? In normal situation, no. If I say this is the situation, I need to intentionally remove column number 2, remove column number 4, and so on. Because this one will be very troublesome. This is a small set of data. What if? Let's go back here. Inside the data here, I have 200 blank rows here. I have 400 and 500 blank rows here. If I want to remove by the blank columns, imagine how many steps I need to do. A lot. It's very complex. Now could be blank, in the future may not be blank. It will be impose some risk. I may be removing some unwanted some data I need to use. While they are still raw, I can use one step. It says remove blank rows. That's all. Remove blank rows. One step, I can remove 200 blank rows. Imagine I have 200, 400, 500. All the blank rows, one shot, one step. They are gone for good. So that's why whenever we want to remove blanks, remove while they are at the row level. While they are still row, horizontal. I can use one step to remove all. Okay, hope this one address your question. Very good question. Very good question. Okay. So let me do this. Everything is done. I can close and go back to Excel. Up to now, so far, okay? Good. Okay. So let me show you another one. This is the third one. Let's go back to the file. Just some of you, hey, what if I blank columns? Let's open customer order version 3. It's very common. This one. Our data has blank column as well as blank rows. Like this one. Okay. Is there any way? So now I want to make the things, I want to up the game. I want to make you all to have a bit challenge thinking. In terms of so-called maintainability. What is this? Wrong one. Okay. Maintainability. So that means I want to use the same file or with the minimal until no changes at all. It can handle for different situation. Example, version 1, no blanks. Version 1, no blanks. Version 2, I have blank rows. Now version 3, I have blank rows and columns. Do you see the changes? If I want to use one query, it works for version 1, version 2, as well as version 3. This is the challenging part. We want to make sure we insert in the right place, not simply removing the rows or column. If I say simply removing the rows and columns, it works on a certain situation, but it doesn't cover the all. So now I want to bring this to attention a little bit. So just follow along. We have done the version 1 and version 2. We are at the version 2 now. Later, I want to finish the version 3. After that, I want to update the file back to version 1 with the right sequence. Is able to handle every scenario. Okay, so this is what we want to have. Okay, so I want to have blank rows, blank columns, no blank is also work. So let's close this file. Customer order version 3. Close this file without saving. Now let's go back to Power Query Editor. If I'm able to go back to Power Query Editor, please type number 1 in the chat. Very good. Let's go to the source. I want to change the source from version 2 to version 3. Double click. Just now we click on this gear, right? We can use mouse double click. Double click is the same way to launch a dialog to edit the step. Okay. Changing the version 2 to version 3. Let me zoom in a little bit. It looks something like this one. Okay, version 2 to version 3. Remember there's a full stop between the number 3 and alphabet X. Then press OK. Type number 2 if I'm able to change the file up to just now. Very good. Whenever we have changed the data source, we want to go back and track the step. Are the steps still workable with this new file? Okay. Now, just now my step was at the source. Click on navigation. Just observe the thing change. Oh, okay. It's more columns now. Don't remove the column yet. Okay. This one will remove the blanks. Okay, the blanks is gone. Then after transpose, you click on the transpose, you'll notice the blank column becomes row. Click on the transpose table, you can see it becomes rows. It's much more easier for us to remove at this stage. Just to make sure you are inside transpose table, and then you go to home, remove rows, remove blank rows. Okay, remove rows, remove blank rows. Let me draw this movement so that you're able to see. Make sure you are clicking transpose table, home, remove rows, remove blank rows. The step will be something like this one. Let me draw. Let me draw. Just go here and go here and go here. This one. Okay. Much more easier. Okay, let's remove. Remove blank rows. It will ask you, hey, are you sure you want to add a step in between them? Yeah, I see yes lah, yes lah. And you will notice the blanks are gone for good. Remember the number? Just now it was 250. Now it's 2,500. The number changes. It shows the data has updated as well. Okay, and then you continue in the apply steps. Click on the promoter headers. Okay, good. And last one, change type. Everything's perfect. If I'm able to follow up to this step, please type number 3. If you want me to repeat, please type number 0. Okay, good job. So now I want to bring this data back to Excel. How? Can you teach me? Forgotten that. Hey, how? Yes, thank you, Faris. Is close and load. Yes, close and load. And let's wait for a while. And you can see the numbers will get updated after a few seconds. Yes, I'm going. I got the answer. If you're able to get the answer, please type yay in the chat or use some emoji lah. Okay, I want to use emoji now. Hey, yeah, so happy. Hey, yes, yay. Okay, nice. So now we are at the version 3. And this Power Query or this queries is able to remove blank rows at the version 2. At the version 3 is able to remove the blank rows and column. Now the tricky part is, what if sometimes the data we receive, sometimes it has blank, sometimes don't have blank. So let's bring this version 3 queries back to version 1 source. If everything works perfectly, so that means the things we are working up to now is good step. Okay. The column, okay, maybe because of your step. Okay. Later you ask, now the rest continue, and later I will come to you. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. If you are able to back to Power Query Editor, please type number 1 in the chat. I want to bring the data back to version 1. Let's see how does it work. Double click on the source. Double click on the source. And change the source file from version 3 to version 1. Double click on the source, version 3 to version 1, and press OK. Please type number 2 in the chat if you are able to follow up to just now. Okay, very good. Whenever we have changed the data source, it's good option to go through step by step in the apply step and see are the steps working correctly or otherwise. So in the source, the next one is navigation. Just click OK. Then remove blank rows. Because it has no blank rows, it removes nothing. So it's OK. Then continue. It will transpose. Transpose. And the next step is say remove blank rows because it has no blank rows, so it's still okay. And after that, it promotes the header and it changes type. So that means with this query, maybe my data sometimes has blank, sometimes don't have blank. It works for version 1, version 2, as well as version 3. So one query is able to handle 3 different types of scenario. Is it nice for you? Hey, so this is how we are able to structure and go through the step-by-step changes. Whenever possible, let me summarize that. Whenever possible, we want to remove rows or not on the column whenever possible. Because the column is very, very tricky. Because we have no idea how many columns will we receive. Rows is okay. Okay, hope this one gives you some idea. After we have done this one, I want to bring the data back to Excel by close and load. And you will notice the number from 2,500. After refresh, it becomes 25. Let's wait for a while for it to refresh. Yes, so nice. Okay, so hopefully this one gives you some idea. One query, sometimes our data has different structure. You can make the thing very, very differently. Okay, so now I want to address some question. Okay, just now I believe one, I think it's Neo. Okay, let me scroll up. Okay, error message. The column customer of table wasn't found. Okay, could you share your screen? It's a good question. It's a good question. There's a good way. I have one lesson for you for this one. Let's wait for a while for the screen to load. Drink water if you're not fasting. Okay, still loading at my side. Still loading. Okay, still loading. Yes, we can combine 2 files. It's possible. In the PDF file, you have all the steps. And just without the explanation, a bit drama, don't have all these things. Okay, we can combine 2 files, append together. We can do something called lookup. Something like VLOOKUP. We can do something called merge. Yes, locals, we are able to do all those things. Somehow I cannot see the things appears on the screen. Can you all see the screen? For me, I cannot see it. Is it my side or something else? See my internet okay? No, huh? How about this? You stop sharing and share again. Okay. Sometimes if let's say the Zoom hang, also not responding one. Okay. Let me temporarily help you to stop sharing. I stop also cannot. Okay. Maybe the Zoom not sure what's happening. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back. I believe that could be a one situation, one possible scenario. Okay. Let me go to my screen. Can you see my screen? Please type yes if you're able to see my screen. No. Okay. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Let's wait for a while. No. Some people. Okay. Yes. How about now? Can you see my screen? Yes or no? No, 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 no. Okay. Not sure what's happening. Some yes, some have no idea. Okay, it's okay. Let me do some explanation. Let me stop sharing here. Because the screen still waiting. Okay. I believe the computer is not responding. Okay, never mind. Let's wait for a while. Okay, right. It's okay. So let me explain what does that mean. Hey, I need to do this. Yeah, start sharing. Yeah, me too. I just cannot stop this one. Yeah, maybe I want to do something. I cannot stop him from sharing. Maybe I want to do this. Okay, now it's much more better. I think because of the connection. Okay. Let's continue here. Power Query, it works best for whenever the data is vertical. It works vertical. And how we are able to know what kind of things we want to do at the end. Remember ROCK. R is using our visual to make sure everything is vertical. Rectangle. O means only one row, one header, one cell, one information. All these things, one. C means careful. Sometimes the data we have comma, dash, and so on. And keep raw data raw. Whenever possible, do not change the data at all. Not negotiable to change the data. Okay, so this is so you can see the data. Just now the customer order, we go from version 1, then go to version 2, has more blank rows. You can see how we handle. We remove by the rows. We don't remove by the column. And we go to version 3, it has more blank column as well. You can see we can go through the step by step on the apply step. We can know where we want to insert in between them. So this is how we are able to use Power Query for yourself. And yep. So hope this one, it will give you some idea. Now I want to open for Q&A before we wrap up the session. Okay, now the question is yours. Ask me anything. By the way, sometimes I do ask me anything, AMA, ask me anything. Right? You can ask question.
Can you teach a bit on pivot table?
You want to bring the data to pivot table?
Yeah, if can.
Yes, it's possible. The answer is big yes. So let me show you. Okay, based on the data just now, I go back to my screen. This is quite a straightforward, simple data. Normally, we want to show the data or the final result inside Excel. Normally, sometimes people say, hey, hi, I want to show the report. I don't want to show the data. Can I? Can. If I want to change the source from the showing on the screen, I want to go straight towards a pivot table. Let's do this together. I want to go to queries and connection. If I don't see this one, maybe if this one is closed, we can go to data. Okay, let me see if this is closed. I go to data. Inside data, there's something called queries and connection. You can click this one to turn this on and off. It's just like a switch. So let me click, and I can see the queries and connection. If I click again, it will disappear. If the thing disappear, it's okay. You just go to data, queries, and connection. Go towards the queries you want to load straight away to pivot table. Just right click and choose load to. Choose load to. Inside load to, there's many options for you. Again, different Excel version will behave, different Excel, different Power Query version will behave slightly different. Pivot table is always there. There's something called new worksheet. Mac version don't have all these things. Mac don't have. Okay, so go to new worksheet and I can press OK. And I will get a warning because currently it shows here. Showing this one is based on something called table. Now I'm no longer using table, therefore this one will be gone. It will not be displayed, but you will put it behind the scene. So I want to go for this one. I press OK. You will ask, hey, there's a potential data loss. Say OK, because I am loading the data not on the screen but to pivot table. So you can see the pivot table appears like this one, and okay. And let me make the thing larger. I can do analysis like normal pivot table. I want to go for quantity. Quantity is a bit odd because they have some wording inside. I want to change the quantity, summarize values by sum. Not correct, at least something like this one. Yes, you can load the data directly to pivot table. Okay, let's the next question. So we use Power Query to manage the data to the format we need and use Power Pivot. Yes, you're right. You can use Power Pivot or you can use pivot table. The currently I'm showing is using pivot table. If you want to load this thing to Power Pivot, right click load to. Inside load to, you click add this data to the data model. If you see this one, this is equivalent to load the data to Power Pivot. Okay. Hope this one address your question. Okay. So next question. I think I can take one or two more questions.
Is there a break for lunch?
This one is up to 12:30 and then we will end. Okay. Yes.
Gender here, I couldn't get the query. It's because of my version.
Maybe you want to share your screen. And Liana, I'm not quite sure. Transpose. Yes, we can transpose certain column. That is called unpivot.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Yep. And by the way, Diana, you can go to a PDF file. You can search the wording called unpivot. There's a step and your exercise for you. Hope this helps.
So basically, it's here to go to.
What you are looking for is on the right side. You see something called workbook queries.
Workbook queries. Just
right click.
Right click.
Yeah, it's something called load to. Right click.
Load to.
Yeah, in the middle. You need to click inside the green color on the left side, otherwise the thing will not appear. Very good.
Okay,
and then you right click.
Right click. Okay.
And
edit.
choose load to.
Load to. Okay, load to.
Yeah. Then see how many options do you have. Because your Excel version, you don't have pivot table. Okay.
Okay, have to upgrade that.
Yeah, because of version.
Version.
At least you can do a normal transformation. Then from the data itself, then you create another pivot table based on this one. No?
So that means basically this Power Query is you got a lot of data, a lot of worksheet, then you combine it, you do a massaging.
Yes.
Whatever you wanted, then analysis you had to go to Power Pivot which is this one the pivot or
right.
pivot table Okay, understood.
Very good, very good. Okay, thank you for your sharing. And now I would like to you to type what do you like the most about this session today? Type in the chat. What do you like the most? or we will end about 12:30, because I need to fetch my girl as well. Okay. Please type in the chat, what do you like most? No right, no wrong. Keep the thing positive. Okay.
Hi, I want to share my problem. No, it's not like a problem. Okay, I'm using MacBook 365 version. So I'm struggling to some features is not directly same, right?
Totally not available.
Yeah. So mind if I share my screen?
Because MacBook memang tak ada.
Tak ada Oh.
You need to
Okay.
use Windows.
But I can use Power Query, but can I link to pivot table? Not Power Pivot, but pivot.
Can. The transformation is very limited. I think it's only load the data. It doesn't able to allow you to do transformation.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Maybe you need to have another machine for Windows. Can ask for that.
Yeah, I have to go back to my office to use my Windows.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please type in the chat, what do you like the most about the session today?
So sorry, is it possible since the session is ending, could I leave a bit earlier?
Imagine this has a data and I have so many products here, right? My data here. And boss want to know, boss just want to know the unique product we have. If I just want to do this one, most likely I will count one by one, not as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 products. And boss just want to know, hey, I just want to know one number, can I? Not easy. So by using Power Pivot, okay, I need to load this one to Power Pivot first. Load to add this data to the data model, press OK. Okay. Yeah, this will be Power Pivot. Let's wait for a while for it to refresh. Okay, done. So whenever it's inside Power Pivot, you will see the behavior. It looks something similar. So now I want to drag the item going towards values. It will show count, but 7 is show number of records. It doesn't show number of unique record. I could just right click on the count, right click. There's something called summarize values by. That's option called distinct count. This one is only available in the Power Pivot. Those days, when we want to do a distinct count, that means unique count, we need to use a long formula to achieve the similar result inside normal pivot table. So using Power Pivot, you are able to get something like this one. Of course, I only have 7 records. Let's see. Do I have anything? Yeah, 7. So you can do something like this one. Very interesting. There are a lot more stuff inside. Example, I want to do something like a time intelligence analysis, time intelligence agent analysis. For example, I want to calculate year to year, year to month, year to date, or quarter to quarter, or sometimes boss want to know same period last year. A lot of this kind of calculation. If I want to do something similar inside normal pivot table, it will take a while. Inside Power Pivot, very, very simple. And one more powerful stuff about Power Pivot is we can do ratio analysis easily. Ratio analysis, very, very powerful way of analysis. Yeah, hope this one gives you some idea. Because of timing, I may not be able to go a bit deep dive on what are the things we could do inside Power Pivot. Hope this one gives you some idea. Okay. Okay, good one. So let me temporarily stop here. Let's see. That'll be good if, let's say, you have this kind of training, you can invite your company to organize such. If you have requests, maybe many of you wanted to go a bit deeper, you can reach me, you can ask me inside the Telegram group. And whenever you have more people, I can organize something like this one. Usually, I don't provide this kind of public courses because corporate company, they will just ask for a group of 20 people plus. Okay, let's now I can see your screen. Chang, chang, chang. Okay, let me request remote control. For this kind of situation, that's because of the column name has changed. If this thing happened, right, I would like to invite you just now after we change the file, we go from top to bottom, step by step, and check. Whenever something goes wrong, from a bottom to go up, okay? When the thing goes wrong, now it was on the last step. Let me click. Okay, let me control for a while. Okay, I click one step above. Okay, let's wait. Okay, you can see the whole thing, it was okay. That is because the header, you have promoted the header twice. Maybe something. You can see 2005. It was on the header. It's not supposed to be here because you have promoted the header twice. You can see this one. This was okay and promote again. So therefore, the things go a bit haywire. Okay, so I just remove one of the steps. Then we just wait for a while. Then press OK. I did it. Then go to last step. Then everything should be okay. Ta-da! Job done. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Neo, for helping us to learn something. In summary, whenever we change the data file, we check the step from a top to bottom one by one. Whenever something goes wrong from the step it was giving us some prompt, go backward. Okay, so this is how we can trace the things. Yes. Thank you, everyone. And we are 2 more minutes to go. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Alternatively, if in the future, you are able to get this book in the bookstore near you. They are coming very soon. And it combines a lot of practical example. And by the way, if you want to really use the skill in Excel to make more money, this book is very good resources for you to refer to. Okay, thank you very much.